back, low and alpha, to this game of, or our game of old school Dungeons and Dragons, and then welcome Shu and Elor to our group. We're playing old school D&D. So, thanks for joining in.
Of course.
So, for those who are new, I'll quickly introduce you to the group and get you started, get you ready to play. And for those who are returning, I'll update you on what you've missed out on, and then of course I'll answer any questions or concerns you might have, and we'll also get you ready as well so you can play. Alright, so for the new guys, before we can start, I'll quickly introduce you to the game. So we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is a tabletop role-playing game about adventurers who go out to hunt monsters and treasures for gold and glory in the medieval world of Dungeons and Dragons. This is basically, a storytelling game, and you play it very simply by it's like a choose your own adventure type game. You make choices based on the situation you're given, and then you roll the dice to see if you're successful or not at whatever you try to choose to do. All right, in the story that we will tell collectively as a group. So the idea is that when you're playing this game, you're a member of a party of adventurers, and you're part of a group of adventurers, which are, typically men and women who go out to go monster hunting or treasure hunting, basically, because with gold and with glory, you'll be able to accomplish, or you'll be able to afford anything you might have in mind for your character. So your character is able to do anything or try anything in the game, but without money and without fame, you can't always accomplish anything you want. So, alright. Now you know how to play, now you know what the game is about, basically.
I will be right back, I'm getting a call.
Okay. Do you have any questions or concerns about what the game is about, or how to play it?
No, I mean, I understand what the game is now because you explained it.
Okay.
But actually playing it, I need to, see it being done first before I can try.
Yep. Okay. Yep. No worries. So you'll get to try it very soon, once we're done creating your character. But it's very easy to play. Basically, I'll tell you a situation you're in, and then you tell me what you want to do about it, and then we roll the dice to determine the results. And the goal of the story is really actually up to you, but it can go anywhere you want it to go. However, for the most part, the goal is to get gold and glory as a group, because that helps everyone accomplish whatever they want. Okay, so first of all, to create your character, we have to roll your ability scores, which are completely randomly generated. But since you're both new, we'll just we'll start you off with some pretty basic characters just to keep things quick and simple for you. Just so we can start quicker. So for your first time, you both are gonna start with a basic fighter, and all you gotta do is choose its name. Next time you can go into more depth in your character, and you can make more choices about who you're gonna play. But for your first character, it's just gonna be a simple fighter. So is that fine with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And Allure, do you want to try something more complicated, or do you want to start off with something more simple? Allure?
Hello, hi. I think I will try the more simple one.
Okay, yeah. So basically, as a fighter, it's a pretty simple class. It's probably one of the most versatile classes in the game. Basically, all you gotta do is fight. So,
What was the other classes, by the way?
in the future, if you want, you can try out the other classes. These are more specialized roles. So there's magic users, thieves, clerics, dwarves, elves, and halflings. Those are also different classes you can play as in the future.
Okay.
So they give up some of the fighting capabilities for more specialized roles. Every class can fight. Naturally, fighters are the best at fighting, but those other classes, they give up some of the fighting capabilities for other abilities, more specialized abilities and purposes. Alright, so since you're a fighter, all you're gonna do is choose your name. So you just need a medieval name for your character. What do you want your character's name to be?
Would I be able to just to name them like my name?
Yeah, sure. You want to?
Yeah.
Alright, so your character's name is Shu. And Allure, what do you want to name yours?
For a medieval name, I think I'll go for Margaret.
Margaret. Is the spelling fine? Margaret?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really sound like medieval name.
Alright, so I'm gonna start with some basic things. You both just have 4 hit points. We won't worry about ability scores. Maybe if you survive, we'll generate them. But I'm just gonna give you some basic gear. 10 copper pieces worth of gear. You're gonna start with like a spear and a shield, which cost like 7 coppers. Oh, 8. And we'll get you a sling, pouch, stones. So you're both issued a set of armor. You have a shield and a helmet on. You've got 2 weapons, a spear and a sling and stones to fire. And you've got a set of clothes on too. So you're both equipped with the same things. Alright. And now you're ready to go. So just sit tight. I have to get the other guys ready as well. So
Okay.
Alpha, it's your turn. Do you wanna, or are you back, Alpha? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Alright. Do you wanna continue as Frederick? Or was he killed?
No, Frederick was, he was knocked unconscious. He has a concussion.
Oh, right. He's recovering back at the base.
Yeah, so I'd have to roll a new character, right?
Exactly, yeah. Go ahead and roll up your abilities. Sorry, your audio is cutting out. Your connection.
I'm rolling in the dice commands.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
You can move. Give me a second. I'm getting part. Move on to the next guy. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure. Lo, do you want to continue as FALRANTH?
Absolutely. That's a badass elf.
Sounds good. Last time he was adventuring, it was October 16th, year 10, and he was resting at the base. So,
Yep.
You were near an abandoned hamlet along the coast, and your group made their way back to base, which let's see. You're from the old base. I forgot which base, but our party has traveled further south along the coast, as you can tell. The old base where the slavers were, it's further up north. So, to continue as FALRANTH, the idea is that during your time away, you were traveling. You were making your way toward this new area in the campaign to resume your place in the campaign. So, during that time, of course, depending on how far you had to travel, you may have to pay for certain expenses to arrive on the scene, depending on how you chose to return to the campaign because you've been out for a while. So there are a few ways you could have joined up with the rest of the crew, but the old campaign was lost. The one further northeast, it was abandoned. So during that time, FALRANTH, his location was unknown. It seems that he's arrived or returned to the campaign, and we'll say that of course he's been taking care of himself, traveling throughout the land, sustaining himself on whatever he can find. Oh, lost one of the guys. Oh, her dad gold. Alright, she'll be back hopefully.
Yeah. I rolled. Sorry, I'm back. I rolled 6 3d6.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that in a sec. But yeah, I think we'll just rule that FALRANTH has made quite the journey, right? He's traveled down the coast, made his way to the shoreline base camp, and eventually traveled southeast to the WOLFDEN base where our campaign currently takes place. So, let's see. Well, technically, we'll resume, I guess, wherever we left off in the story, or wherever the characters are at. Frederick is here at WOLFDEN. FALRANTH, his location's unknown because his previous location was destroyed. So for the time since then, we're not sure what was going on, but he's been fine. At the very least, he's been taking care of himself as an NPC. So we'll say he arrives on the scene and he had nothing better to do, I guess. Or maybe he did, but now he's here at WOLFDEN. So, unless he has got other ideas or plans. Let's see. Yeah, so Lo, unless you have other ideas or plans on what you want to do, our last adventure took place here at WOLFDEN. This is a new base established by House Ethan. So, we've been adventuring around here. Would you be okay with traveling to WOLFDEN, or do you have another idea of what you want to do in the story?
Sure.
'Cause you could pretty much start anywhere since your character, you know.
Wherever the rest of the group is, I will travel to.
Okay. So yeah, we'll say you're at WOLFDEN then. Alright, so it's currently December 7th in the campaign world, so it's been like almost 2 months since you last had any real adventures. In that time, did you want to make any changes to your record or to your equipment? You had 1 copper.
No. I think I like what I see. I think that's fine.
Sounds good. As per usual, you're allowed to roll up a new character under the same household, right? Which you can recruit as a retainer. So, would you like to do that?
I'm gonna focus on FALRANTH because I don't like sharing XP.
Very well. Yeah, no worries. So, in that case, I guess as Alright. Yeah, I guess I can't really give you any other rewards then, because that's the only kind of reward we give for joining a game at the moment. Alright, yeah. Very well. So, in that case, we'll move on to Alpha. So, Alpha,
Yep, I'm here.
you're gonna roll up a new character, and you...
I got my rolls in the nice spots.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready and I can read them out to you.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
I got a 9, 14, 13, 11, 12, and 12.
Nice. What class do you want?
Let's go magic user.
Okay. Roll 1d4 for hit points. Nice.
Oh, nice. I got a 4.
3d6 for money.
Oh, shit, I got 4.
Unless someone can spare you some money or provide you a spell book, you won't actually have any spells at the start. Let's see. Yeah, your only option at the moment is if FALRANTH lets you, he can teach you his spells or teach you how to read his, and you can memorize spells from his book. Naturally, you will forget these spells once you cast
Actually, would I be able to would I be able to do an elf instead then? Since I'm a broke bitch.
them. I mean, either way, it's not a good idea because you can't afford a book, so it will almost be useless.
Oh, true, true.
I will let you
Okay,
switch to. I mean, if you do switch classes, not a big deal. If you re-roll your hit points. So. Do you
Okay,
wanna?
I just do. You know what? Then fighter doesn't need no fucking spells. So I'll just do a fighter and I can buy him something cheap.
Sure. Roll 1d8 for hit points.
Okay, perfect. I got 5.
All right. And what weapon do you want?
I'll just do. We'll do range. So we'll do a bow, whatever the max bow I can afford.
Sure. Short bow, quiver, 10 arrows, 4 coppers total.
Yep, perfect.
All right. Got ourselves.
And I'll buy a knapsack with that last copper remaining.
Oh, there's no remaining copper.
Oh no, that's right. Okay, because it was 4. You're right. Yeah, no, that's perfect.
All right, no worries. What's your name gonna be?
Sorry. The name. Let's do. We'll name this one. Sarah.
Sarah, as in Sarah.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. All right. The girl hasn't rejoined us. So let me see if she's coming back.
Well, she hasn't joined it. Fine, because we have our force, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yep. Ethan, are you joining us tonight?
Yep.
Okay.
Joining you.
You're rolling a new character?
I'm a little. Yep, of course.
Go ahead.
Okay. Let me quickly refresh Owlbear. Being a little funky. Alright. Here we go. My first stats. It's a 9. 14. 10. 7. 5. That's. You won't want one more time, okay. And 7.
Alright.
Half of that. Let's do magic user.
Magic user? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Got 3 health.
Good. Money?
Don't I? Is it 5 a -2, or is that -1 still? Because I have a minus to my HP.
Oh, yeah. You're right. -2. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I only have 1. It's unfortunate.
Thanks for your honesty.
8.
Just enough to afford a basic spell book.
Mm-hmm. I was supposed to say, isn't there a spell book in camp? So if I remember correctly looking at...
There might be, but it's empty. There are no spells in it. It's an empty spell book.
Fair enough.
But you can't take claim, or I mean, I guess you could claim it if someone lets you. I don't think it's owned by anyone in particular anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Alright, well, you do have a spell book, and you do have one spell in there, either a random one or a Dungeon Master chosen spell.
Let's do Dungeon Master.
Very well. Alright. What else? No, wait, you can't afford anything else. Alright, name?
Name? Oh, yep. Let me just do... opt. It is... Okay, so one. Or on the first chart for 91.
Okay.
On the first chart, 50.
Alright, your name is KRACETH, the medium or magic user.
Alright.
Maybe if you get powerful enough, you'll cast lightning bolt. Right. Let's see.
Maybe.
Alright. So the group is pretty much ready to go now, I think. Let's see. Now, we're about to go on our first break since we're ready to play now. But before that, actually, a few more things to go over. Retainers. Okay, I don't think we have any, so that's fine. Shoe's gone, so I guess I'll remove her record for now. Unless she returns. I doubt she will. Let's see. So we have a team of 4, so we'll have to do something small for sure. And otherwise, the most experienced member of your team today is going to be, although he has no experience himself, he is not new to adventuring. He's an old adventurer. FALRANTH. This will be his second expedition, so technically he's an adventurer while the 3 of you are old recruits. You're all new adventurers and he's an old adventurer. So FALRANTH, it will most likely be up to you to lead this one. Despite you haven't been here in a while and have little to no knowledge of this land, you are the currently the most experienced one here. Alright.
Okay.
So, you can make plans if you'd like with this group during your break, but everyone else, before we take our break, any questions or concerns about game preparation?
I got a question.
Right.
Okay, Ethan, you're playing a magic user?
Yes.
So, my question for the DM is, I come into town, I know a magic user has a spell book. Can I teach the magic user one of my spells so he can have it in his book? Now, it doesn't give him an extra spell to cast per day, but it gives him a choice to pick. I would like to teach. What's your name, Ethan?
It is. Let me see. Try to pronounce this. KRACETH.
KRACETH. Okay, I would like to give you the option. I have a magic missile and a light spell. You have sleep. You want to would you like to trade knowledge? Like
Sure.
I can learn your sleep spell, have it in my book. You can pick one from my spell book.
Sure, why not?
Would that be doable for the DM? Would that be allowed?
It is possible, but there are certain costs we have to go over. First of all, you can definitely teach him how to read the spells directly from your book, but to copy it over to his book would cost time and money, right? Because of the magical components that go into every spell page, right? Along with that, just the time it takes to copy the spell over, right? All the runes and such. And then finally, you have to teach him how to read it too, right? And how to actually cast it. So
would that require a read magic spell?
So I will say, if you teach him how to read it yourself, it will not, right?
Okay.
From your book. But if he were to read it himself without you, he would need read magic. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's gonna take too much time, could you make a note? If we survive this adventure, maybe we could do that in the downtime.
Yep.
Is that okay with you?
In your spare time, yep. You definitely can do that in your spare time if you have the time and funds to do so. You guys can do that in between adventures.
Okay, then we'll do that. Is that okay with you, Ethan?
Yeah, perfectly fine if we survive. And also,
yes,
technically, as a magic user, I can cast it with 2 spells a day.
Right. So that's what I'm going to go over with FALRANTH real quick, actually, too.
Okay.
So, since the last time you played here, I think Alpha's familiar with it now, but we had some changes to the house rules maybe a couple of weeks ago now on classes. Every class is still very special and very unique, but we have made a few changes which are listed in the server announcements, but I'll go over them real quick as well, because it looks like they're long kind of lost in there. So basically, if you go into the house rules though, some major changes have been made to the classes. Very simple still house rules. I don't have a lot, but they do play into effect. So here is a list of the changes. Most are the same. This is not relevant to the new players, but it could be helpful, especially for their class. So you can go over this if you want in your own time, but what's relevant to you as an elf is little to nothing has changed for you. Elves still have 1 to 6 hit points per level, unless noted at the higher levels. They're still immune to ghoul paralysis. They still sense with a +1 bonus and have night vision. They know the languages of orcs, hobgoblins, and gnolls, and they may equip any armor and weapons still. So not much has changed for the elves. However, magic users have actually received a major change, because we never actually play the high level games, and the only benefit to being a magic user is when you're high level, right? Because that's the only difference they have regarding elf versus magic user. Elves can't get as powerful magic later on, but we're never playing that far on. So instead, we have magic users focusing on spells, and to make that a thing, our new house rule for them, as you can see, is memorize twice as many spells now. So if they can memorize 1 level 2 spell, it will be 2 level 2 spells instead. So they will. That's like a major change. Everything else is pretty much the same, as you can see.
Okay. Yep.
So that's relevant to you. For Margaret, she's a fighter, so she doesn't have to worry too much. But yeah, for the fighter guys, also relevant to the fighters, just a reminder, you no longer have half weight to armor. You no longer have the +4 to hit or double damage. Instead, you have extra attack or double damage, right? So basically 2 fast attacks per round or 1 strong attack per round. This is just to keep on par with the idea that fighters are supposed to get maybe up to 2 attacks optionally at level 14, which we'll never play. We don't really play high level expeditions. We play, basic level expeditions starting from scratch. So rarely will you see anyone to level 14. So that's why we decided to give the benefit of double attack early on, since that's the only time it would matter, right? Armor class bonus for fighters is double too, so fighters will truly focus on fighting and defending the group. They have no other major changes, but as you can see, every class has something really helpful. Like clerics, they can cast level 1 spells at level 1 now, like in AD&D. So we have made that change. But yeah, like, even though fighter sounds really good right now, every class still has a really good purpose. I think. Everyone has agreed. Like thieves still have their standard thief abilities, but on top of that, they're able to use all their other abilities at level 1 now too. So read language and scroll use at level 1. So that makes thieves useful still. Magic users very useful still because they can cast twice as many spells. Clerics because they can cast spells as well immediately, and then fighters will because they can fight really good, right? So the only classes that might be questionable are the demi-humans. And in trade, of course, they have all these extra languages and all the extra abilities still. But, you know, now they're pretty much on equal ground now, I would say. The dwarves or the demi-humans are not just considered better fighters anymore. They've got their trade-offs now, so. Alright. That's it. Let's take a break. We've been going for about 30 minutes now, so we'll take a 5-minute break. When we get back, we'll start the game. Alright, thank you guys for your patience. See you in 5.
Yep.
Alright, so we have been having trouble with cannibals lately. We definitely do not have a big enough group to deal with them.
Okay.
Last group we all died to the cannibals. There's 26 cannibals over there now.
Even though FALRANTH is more experienced, I still would like Ethan, you to be the caller.
You want
If that's
me
if that
caller? I'm
if that,
being at the back. I don't think I should be the caller. I have terrible charisma. You have better charisma than me.
Okay, but I want to take your advice on where to go because this is a new campaign area.
So we have yet explored to the south. But
Okay.
since we have an elf with us, we can go try speaking with the elves to the west of us, seeing if they want us to do anything.
Okay. That sounds good to me. I'm gonna go have a quick cigarette, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Alright, gentlemen,
Yes.
are we all good to go?
Yep.
I am.
Here.
Alright, nice. Alpha and Allure? Are you here? Alright, I think they will be back soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
I guess I'll grab some tokens in the meantime.
Allure just
Ethan.
unmuted. Are you there, Allure?
Yeah. Hello.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
I'm here
Okay.
and I'm ready.
Yeah. So what do you say, hello? Hello?
Yeah. Do you want to go check out the elves?
It's up to you. I would love to meet the elves, but it's really up to you.
Alright, so before we make any plans, let me describe to you the situation we're in. So, it is another cold winter day in December. Currently, it's December 7th of year 10. And your party is formed up just outside of the WOLFDEN base camp, which is a small base camp established within a small cave that used to be the den of a pack of wolves. Around it, a settlement is being constructed to some extent. Settlers, other adventurers, and even merchants have been invited to join in the establishment of this new base, right? This new stronghold. It was established originally by House Ethan, but now its current ruler is undecided. For the original the original person to establish it, the founder, was killed in action, and now it's kind of just under the rulership of, or under the watch of more seasoned or experienced adventurers, but things have not been going terribly well. The camp is mostly disorganized. Many of the adventurers here lack any real discipline and fail to actually do their job. Merchants and traders who visit the settlement slowly are becoming distrustful of the base's security and mainly just the defense of the camp. Many of the troops are low in morale, have grown lazy, tiresome. The settlers are injured and wounded. Many of them are sickly and have little to nowhere to go now, except maybe back to the old base. But even there, life is not very good either. So all of these different people coming here to make a new life for themselves are struggling, right? And it's really up to you guys to make some differences for these settlers. You're the adventurers, the trailblazers, the ones here to, or the pioneers, right? The ones here to settle these lands and ensure its safety, right? So that others can live peacefully, right? We've currently have had a lot of issues with the neighboring tribe of cannibals east of the camp. Originally, they were kind of peaceful. They would visit our lands every now and then and attack settlers who decided to live a little further away from base, maybe, right? They would come back and report the encounters they've had with them. So at some point, just a few days ago, really, we sent a few expeditions out to attack their lands, and that didn't go too well. And we have actually started a war with them. They actually made one attack on our base just the other night, and they were not very successful, but they caused a lot of damage. A lot of the settlers became wounded and injured, too injured to really take care of themselves. So now WOLFDEN's base camp is undergoing a famine. There's not enough people to provide food, water, or water is pretty accessible here, but there's not enough people to go out to get wood and food anymore, right? And not enough people to just even work, right? The few people who can still work are women and elderly. There are some children, yeah, some infants, but you know, like taking care of one person is already a lot of work. Taking care of multiple is maybe too much work, right? We have a lot of adventurers who are just kind of looking after themselves. All they want to do is survive, and a lot of them are thinking about, you know, retiring and leaving these lands for other more successful areas. The idea is that, you know, you get recruits every day because people still want to adventure here, but if players don't come back to play and they come back later on, it's because their characters left and they go on, and maybe if they come back, they'll come adventure in new lands. A prime example is FALRANTH, right? He's been gone for a while, and he returns to adventure in these lands. These guys here haven't been here for a while, and they might leave soon as NPCs, but maybe we'll see their return to another base one day that's more successful, right? Oh. Alright, so...
Lost. Hold on. There might be an issue. Okay.
Unfortunate circumstance.
Oh no.
Let's see if they're okay. Okay, Alpha's reconnecting.
Alright, that's good.
Don't know what happened to the other person now.
Oh, there they are. Nice.
Allure.
Okay, well, I think that's enough background information for now. You know the situation you're kind of in. You're at the base camp. There are a lot of issues that's undergoing. I need to check if the base was under attack or was ever attacked. 1 in 6 chance, or 3d6 on a 1. At some point the base was attacked since the last time we adventured, and we'll have to deal with that. Alright, fortunately, up until now, up until today, things have been going alright for the base. At least it hasn't had any encounters. So nothing has attacked the base recently. So you can help out with the base if you want, but what you mainly need to do is bring money back or get some work done.
Yeah.
Secure resources.
I do have an idea. Maybe we can ask the elves for help.
Visit the elves. Request help.
Yeah, visit the elves. See if we can get help. Maybe they have jobs for us to do. Like.
Yes.
Alright. So there's one idea, and already the most experienced member agrees with it, right? So FALRANTH has heard from KRACETH, one of the recruits of a very old house, right? House Ethan, one of the more famed houses in the area. A lot of their people have come to these lands to seek a name for themselves, and many have, of course, unfortunately met their end. But KRACETH is part of a strong line of men, and they were the ones who established this base, right?
Which mostly inhabits the base too.
Oh yeah, a lot of your household members are here. Athbar is here if you want to go try to recruit him, or Laughtrib, or Ganam.
Yeah. Let's see. Don't have the money.
Alright. So, FALRANTH, do you want to go on with that plan? let's see what the other two think. And you're the caller.
Yes, I shall be very enthusiastic about meeting my kin and speaking with them on behalf of the party so we can help them and they can help us.
Sounds good. All right. Do you want to talk to your men, or should we just hear what they want to say, or what they think we should do?
Sure, I'll listen to everybody's input.
Okay, let's hear from Sarah then. Sarah, what do you think about the situation? Or the plan?
I am down to do whatever they need. So, like, if they need food or something, I'm down to go see if we can find something for them to eat or explore south.
Yeah.
Okay, so
They're planning to go. Oh, sorry.
go ahead if you want. I was just gonna say Sarah seems
Yeah.
to have a different plan in mind than the two of you.
Yeah, but I don't think Sarah heard what our plan was. Our plan is maybe seek help from the elves, and even they won't.
Oh, okay.
directly-
Yeah, no, sorry. I think I was reconnecting when you guys were talking
Yeah,
about
I think
that.
that's
Yes, that
we.
yep, that
seek
sounds better
help
to me.
from the elves, and maybe they can give us a job, get some money from them.
Or yeah, provisions and stuff to bring back. Yep, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Alright. Margaret, I know you're new to the group. You have recently arrived and have recently joined up with the team who are gonna set out on an expedition soon, hopefully to bring back something good to base. They're discussing, they don't seem to have any promising ideas at the moment. They think that they'll find employment with the elves. Naturally, your job here is to hunt monsters and treasures. Maybe the elves might help you do that or something, but for Shirley though, the bare minimum needs for every person in this camp, if you want to help out with the camp at least. Now, to help yourself, you need to feed yourself. That's the most important thing. But you can see that a lot of benefits will leave our camp if we don't take care of these people, because you might not care about them, but they're here to help, and without them, no one is gonna gather wood for your fires, no one's gonna cook your food, no one's gonna wash your clothes, no one's gonna find food and water for you, right, while you're away adventuring, and no one's gonna bring in merchandise from across the sea if you don't take care of them, right? So you'll be on your own if you don't take care of one another. So now you might have some worry, but if you don't still, that's fine. You can just take care of yourself. And the bare minimum everyone needs is food, housing, and water, of course. There's plenty of water in these woods. There's food if you can take care of yourself and go get it. But a lot of these people can't take care of themselves anymore because they're injured, so they can't hunt or they can't feed themselves anymore. And that might be you someday, right? Anyone could be that person. A lot of adventurers end up wounded and need people to take care of them when they're wounded, right? So if you don't take care of them, no one's gonna take care of you when you need them. So not trying to force you to want to care about these people, but that's just some reasons to actually care about these settlers that are at your village or your base. Now the elves, of course, can maybe help your group, right? So we can go get help there. But the main thing for sure is that these people are starving. There's a famine going, right? There's little to no food. We're starting to deplete our storage, right? Our food stores. So there's no sustainment anymore, sustainable food source anymore. Or there is around us, but no one's actually able to go get it. Let's see. All right.
Yeah.
So, or Margaret, did you have any thoughts or plans in mind, or what do you think about what they think we should do? Because these three seem to agree with one plan already. They think that we should go talk to the elves. But what do you think?
I don't know. I was so lost. Sorry about that. Maybe I go with a plan. Yeah, and stand ready to protect them
Okay,
as a fighter.
sounds good. Yeah. So seems like Margaret agrees with you guys, and at the very least, she's ready to offer you her skills as a fighter, right? Her protection. So in that case, FALRANTH, as the caller, what shot would you like to make, or what do you want this party to do? Seems like everyone agrees. So are you still on board with traveling to the elves or visiting the elves?
If you're asking me, yes, I'm still on board. I just got home and I couldn't hear.
FALRANTH. He's the shot
Yeah.
caller.
Lo, you there?
Yeah, what's up? Yes.
All right, so you're still on
There's a
board with the
message
plan?
asking.
Pardon me?
So it seems like most of your crew has agreed. So do you want to follow through and lead them west?
Yes.
Very well. At this point, your party is traveling west. Is there a particular distance you want to travel or duration you want to march for? Your party is marching at the rate of 2 miles an hour, roughly. But the force slows it down by 0.5, so 1.5 miles an hour.
We'll keep going until we meet contact, I guess, or until nightfall. That's
good.
what I'm thinking.
Contact.
Alright,
That makes sense.
so you're now traveling through your own lands for about 1.5 miles, which takes you about an hour to do. We'll roll for any encounters in your lands. Chances are very low. No signs of monsters. No signs of animals. You make it to the elf lands after an hour of marching. And from here, do you want to continue west through their lands? Or do you have a different course of travel?
Yes.
West, straight through their lands? Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so now there is still a low chance of encountering monsters, animals, and more importantly, there is a chance to encounter the elves now. Now, in their lands, there's a 1 in 6 chance per hour to encounter them, but at their base, there's an automatic encounter. Let's see, so in their lands, you did not encounter them. You just were able to just march right through their lands. But when you get to the heart of their lands, that's when you come across their base, right? You encounter, it's an automatic encounter because there's a structure up ahead, right? Signs of the enemy, or I guess not our enemy, but our target up ahead, right? Let's see. So, are we surprised? No. Are they surprised? No. At a safe distance, and because we're in the forest, instead of going by 10 times 10 yards, we'll just go by times 1 yards. Because naturally you wouldn't be able to see or hear terribly far in the woods. So we'll reduce it to 10%. So we'll say at 13 yards away, you come into contact with signs of their settlement in the trees. So at maybe like 39 feet away, you start to see something past the trees, right? Because you've been moving through a dense woodland, and it's really difficult to see much ahead. So you would have to be pretty close before you actually see any signs of their settlement. But the first bit of their settlement you see as you're making your way through the woods is perhaps a watchtower of some sort with bridges spanning across the different tall trees here. But a watchtower of some sort, it's more like a post you come across. So
Okay.
you're moving through these trees here, and you see like there's like a wooden platform on a tree, high up in the tree, like it's overlooking the rest of the woods. You know, it's maybe 30 feet
I
high
shall,
or so. Yeah.
I shall speak in Elvish. First, I'm going to hold up my hand, my fist, to stop the group and yell in Elvish, "Greetings, and salutations, my fellow kin. We come to help in any way you see fit.
Alright, so you have approached, you have made a friendly introduction of your party toward them and a friendly greeting toward them, right? Although you have, although most of your group has trouble seeing them, you as an elf have very good, or better than normal sensibility, and you can probably with intuition notice maybe that there is definitely an elf up there on that outpost, on that tree, looking at you. He's watching you from within the tree that's been hollowed out to some extent, and he's looking through, of course, like a narrow slit, basically. So these are very strong trees here, sturdy trees, but they're not very dense or anything. They're not like redwoods or anything. They're still pretty normal to trees. But he's looking for maybe behind the tree or something like that. And he's got camouflage. He's wearing a hood and cloak covered in leaves. And he blends in well with the tree.
I shall bow.
Yeah. Okay. And he responds positively, fortunately. He scored a 10 total on the reaction check. And in the same language as you, in the elf language, the rest of the party does not understand as they as you communicate with this elf here. Before you can get a response, did anyone else want to do anything while FALRANTH was greeting his kin or the other elves?
No, I just stand by.
Stand by.
Keep a lookout, like.
Yep.
Yeah.
KRACETH, you're looking out into the woods. Sarah and Margaret, was there anything you wanted to say or do while FALRANTH was speaking to the elves? Just making sure you all have a turn to take an action, play the game. If not, no worries, you'll just stand by as well. Or if you're AFK, I guess you're just AFK, or characters idling. Alright, so in response to FALRANTH, the elf is reacting positively. He says, in the elf language, of course, "Hello, fellow elf. Welcome to our forest. Perhaps there is something you and your party can do for us. My name is Segan the Green, and I hope that we can be friends." He reveals himself at that point in the tree, and the rest of the party can see him wearing a dark green hood and cloak, a single elf sentry up in the tree. There could be more, but that's the only one you see. And he starts
When I see him, I go. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. When I see him, I give him a polite bow.
He bows back to your party, and before he continues any further, he welcomes you into their settlement before further discussion so that you don't have to yell any further. He says this in the elf language. He says, "Please come through our lands. Let us meet so that we don't have to stand out here and yell in the cold all day." Right? So you're able to continue through their woods, and this tree here, there's a bridge connecting it to one other tree, or a couple of other trees possibly. But this is just a single outpost, which is positioned a safe distance still from the actual settlement. So you're actually not even very close to the actual settlement yet, to your surprise. This is just an outpost. So you just encountered one of the outposts out here. So from this lookout tree, it leads to the actual outpost. which is a central tree. Which in that central tree, it's a sturdier tree than the rest of the trees, and that's where Tree Fort was built. So this one is of course heavily concealed by all the other trees, and much more reinforced. But there's an actual building on this one. The other ones were all just kind of like open air kind of lookout posts. But this one's an actual, again, building in the tree, like a tree house. That's the one they're going to invite you into, but they explain to you that this is not their village, right? That this is just a lookout because their actual village is actually built along the coast. It's more defensive that way, right? They'll have their back to the sea, or one side facing the sea. That way they can't be completely surrounded. So this is just an outpost,
That makes sense.
right? So you came across the elf outpost, but it's rumored that they have multiple outposts, right? I mean, they don't tell you that, but in past reports we have encountered elf outposts in various locations in their lands, right? This is just one of them you came across. So they'll invite you into the outpost. You have to climb a ladder, or not a ladder, sorry, a rope, which is a difficult climb for most of you who are not thieves. You know, you're literally holding onto a rope, they're hoisting you up, you're using your feet, you're holding tight. A lot of upper arm strength for those who are not very physically inclined. This is definitely a challenge to hold on to that rope for the next 30 or so feet as they hoist you into the treehouse. When you get up into the treehouse, actually before you even climb up into the tree, they did ask that you leave your weapons down on the 4th floor, and they tell you that they'll make sure no one tries to steal them. They have sentries looking over your weapons, or looking over the 4th floor at all times. So they ask that you leave your weapons down there before they hoist you up, and if you are to bring any up here, they'll take it as a sign that you don't want to be friends, right? So
I have no weapons.
And if you refuse to leave your weapons behind, you can also just stay down there. They don't force you to leave your weapons, or they're not gonna force you to come up here either. They're inviting you, but if you want to come inside, you can't bring any weapons in.
Can I hand my bow and arrows to, I forgot his name already.
Is it Margaret, Sarah, KRACETH, or the elf, Sagan?
Sagan, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he came down to he did not come down. He's in the treehouse, but he's not gonna take your bow. He asked that you just leave it down there on the 4th floor. He apologizes for the inconvenience, of course, but it is the rules that they have at their outpost.
I will leave it on the ground.
All right, they appreciate that. As you start to climb their tree and such, you also notice that the trees are covered in strange wax. The bottom of their treehouse is covered in a strange fur. Under all the concealment, there's a strange fur material. Seems very waxy to some extent. As you make your way up, they explain that this is to help prevent their trees from setting fire, especially during the winter months, or in case of a demi-human attack. But anyway, you are hoisted up into their base, which is surprisingly very it's not very sturdy at all. It's surprisingly very, I guess, rickety and dangerous feeling, right? It's very mobile, right? You can feel the trees shaking under your feet with every step, creaking, the wood creaking under your feet. So it's they tell you to be careful and watch your footing. There are a few elves in here with you in the treehouse. They've invited your entire crew in, all 4 of you. And you approach them at their fire, because they have a fireplace in their treehouse, and they have to make sure that the fire doesn't set their tree on fire. But it's kind of toward the center area, and smoke rises above the tree. So yeah, they've got a little fireplace going. and make sure it's cleared of any flammable objects, at least as clear as it can be. Let's see. Aside from that, now that you're in here with the elves, you are welcome to discuss with them if you want. They invite you to have a seat at their fire. They're bringing you refreshments. Looks like some hot tea.
Oh man, I haven't seen tea in a while. Oh.
Yep.
Thank
so-
you.
I shall ask the elves if there is anything that we can do for them.
Right. Let's see.
Did say they did have a possible task for us.
So, you're talking to Sagan again, and his superior. So Sagan is just he's one of the sentries, and of course, after bringing you in, he's relieved, or he's dismissed and sent back to his post. So now you stand before, or you sit before, what you can only assume to be a higher ranking elf guard, right? Or sentry. She introduces herself as Sukra. So, here's her name. And she is considered, in your language, a sergeant of this outpost. She is here to advise and supervise her men. And she has heard that you are a friend of Sagan and are looking for work. She will ask, is that true?
Yes, it is. And I require quest for me and my party to delve into the wilds to help my kin.
She nods and she says, well, I'm glad to hear it. Things have been very difficult for both us and you, I've heard. The humans north of us have had troubles with pirates, and from what our scouts have told us, you have been having trouble with the cannibals.
Yes. They have been taking our settlers. We have been trying to fight them, but not so very well. Each time we try to fight each other in our own land, we lose, and they lose. So, kind of a standstill right now.
The elf nods and tells you, these are troubling times for us both. We have few to little men to spare, but if you're willing to help us, if you have enough men, we have had issues with another dangerous demi-human race south of our lands, in those dangerous mountains. They're visiting our borders, and they're cutting down our trees. We believe they're preparing for war. They've been preparing for war for some time. The demi-humans, they are these small, grotesque men. You might know them as, in your language, goblins. By the way, she only can speak in the elf language, so all of this has to be translated from her to FALRANTH to you, right? So FALRANTH is going to be translating the entire time.
Okay.
I really could say fuck it, do elf language. I really could. I have.
You want to speak elf? You can speak normally with her if you want.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, so that's your extra language.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So now you can speak normally with her, right? And have a better chance at discussing matters with her. Or getting through. But anyway, as you're discussing, just so that the others have a chance, did Sarah or Margaret want to say or do anything as well in the meantime? I know that FALRANTH and KRACETH have been able to talk with them, but was there anything you wanted to do?
I would just be sipping on tea and eating some of their food that they're offering.
Sure, that's fine. Margaret, the fighter, anything you want to say or do in the elf treehouse?
Just follow the lead.
Follow their lead.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries. Yep, you can try anything you want, and for now you'll be a polite, respectable fighter, just following their lead as they discuss matters of work with the elves. Alright, so yeah, the elves have had issues. They explain that they've been having issues with goblins, grotesque, small humanoids, wicked, dangerous folk who are visiting their lands in the night to cut down their trees and bring them back into the mountains to fuel their engines for war, right? So they want they want them to be stopped, and they're hoping that you might be able to send your forces down there and help them drive off these goblin scum, right, from their lands. And they'll pay you. They have different ways to pay you. They can pay you in either lumber, in food, or in coin.
I believe. Could we have how much for every goblin we kill? How much lumber compared to coin?
Yep. So, for lumber, they have plenty of good wood out here. Therefore, they'll give you twice as much lumber as is you would be able to pay for it in coin, right? So, say 1 copper, right, can get you about 10 pounds of wood if you were to purchase it from any merchant, right? But they'll sell you 20, they'll give you either 1 copper or 20 pounds of wood instead, right? And for food, they are not doing terribly great on food either. So when it comes to food, they can only give you basically just as much food as you would be able to normally afford with money. Naturally, if you were to buy food yourself, there could be a tax on it from other people, other merchants, transportation fees and such. So they're paying standard offer, right? So instead of 1 copper, they'll give you 3 pounds of food, right? Merchants and such will charge a higher tax fee due to, of course, transportation fees, right? Since it's not readily available. So especially in this time, any food that's being brought to WOLFDEN is at a higher price. Any merchants visiting your lands, they have to make a dangerous journey into your lands, supposedly, since your lands are not considered safe anymore, right? Cannibals are visiting it quite often, or more recently. So food is expensive right now.
So that's for 1 goblin.
If they were to pay you 1 copper, so for 1 goblin, they're willing to pay you 5 coppers or 100 pounds of wood or 15 pounds of food.
Okay.
With money, we can.
Wood
So
is really
it's
important
either
for
food-
multiple reasons. It's fuel for fires, right? Because 1 pound of wood is
Yeah.
1 hour of fire. So
The problem with it is if we took the wood, we don't have any wagon or horses to bring that wood back to the camp.
true.
Would
Yeah.
you be able to spare some of your elves to help us carry that wood back to the camp?
They don't have enough elves to transport your wood, unfortunately.
So it's either food.
Or money. Now the thing is, you guys already have wood around you, but you just don't have enough people to cut wood anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
I think-
should we take money instead, KRACETH?
Well, if we get money, but we're able to, upgrade our troops while be able to. It would be harder to do everything. You can do everything, but it'd be harder to do. Food, that would make it a lot easier. Just to feed our people. So I'm personally thinking money so we can earn some money while we donate some money to the camp for food and stuff we aren't able to get.
Then it
Might
is
I
at
suggest
3.
something? If we
Yes.
kill, like, let's say 10 goblins, right? We could always split it 5. We could exchange for food and 5 for coin, and and sort of we can adjust that as needed.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Coin would be better. You said they were
Alright.
coming at night.
Then the goblins will raid their lands in the night. These cold winter nights, they'll visit the forest, and they've already tried sending some men in to fight them, but they failed. Their elves were no match against the large number of goblins. Unfortunately, some of them were captured, and terrible things might have occurred recently to their people. So they're not willing to go out there anymore, but they do want to put an end to this, right? So if they don't stop them soon enough, their entire force would be cut down to the south, right? Possibly over the winter
Maybe
months.
we could. So did you take the fight to them, or did you try to ambush them while they were coming to take your trees?
They explained that they have tried their very best to attack them from the trees, ambush them, but their numbers are high, and the goblins are also bearing powerful tools for war, right? They have brought bows and arrows, spears and shields. They are ready for the elves, right? They're willing to fight. So the elves are superior overall, but they have the numbers, right? The goblins have numbers right now.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're mountain goblins, they're better equipped goblins, that they have good armor.
They have actual armor? Okay.
Yep, they're wearing actual armor. You've got iron armor and iron weapons, and bow and arrows.
Alright then.
Translate this for me, good sir. I look at Ethan. Ask them if they've tried setting up like pits of traps. They have a lot of wood and stuff, so they could probably set up like pits with spikes in the bottom, you know, so that they fall in, or like trenches and stuff like that for flanking.
I will translate that for him.
So you share your ideas for the elves to set up traps in their forest, right?
Yeah.
And they will consider it, especially maybe around the more important locations, but the forest to the south is a little too vast to set up enough traps to be of any use, right? There are many trees out there. If they want to set up traps near the trees, which are what they're trying to protect, they can try it, but there might not be enough time, right, to dig up traps in those trees. They might be able to protect the trees to these central areas or further north, but their hope is it might be too late to dig up traps at the south, right, because they're already there, right? The goblins are invading these lands to the south. They're encamped. They're cutting down trees. They have a foothold in those woods, right? A base of operations. So they're hoping that naturally you guys can go out there and maybe attack a goblin outpost, right? Maybe attack a group of woodcutters. Naturally, the goblins have most security in those mountains, but they'll send groups out, and you can try to attack their supply lines, right? As they deliver wood back, they have transportation going on, right? So they need logistical support. So if you can attack, I guess, their caravans, you can do that. Cut off their caravans. There's many ways you can approach the situation and help dwindle their
We
numbers.
can set up an ambush.
This also could be more difficult for you, right?
Let's set out and go start killing goblins.
Should we discuss our plans first, though?
Sure.
So, what we probably should do is the wood choppers, the one that can. So, we should probably target those, as those are probably the main, because right now, and probably the most we can handle.
So yeah, you gotta understand that the woodcutters are not defenseless, right? There's gonna be goblin defenders defending the border, right? So there's goblin defenders protecting their woodcutters to the south, and then between the woodcutters and the mountains are their caravans, right? Who will transport the wood back, who will transport wood back into the mountains and transport food and supplies to the ones out there working, right? and then of course protecting them is the goblin border that needs to be attacked. The goblin border is just goblins, set up in trenches and such, right, out in the woods. Little hidey holes. Maybe they're in the trees too now. Who knows, right? One thing's for certain though, they only come out to work at night though. They only cut down trees at night. They only fight at night. And you guys have a bad time at night. You can't see well in the night.
Yeah, they can't see us well in the day.
So during the day is your best chance to attack.
Night vision.
Yes, they always have night vision, so they have a good chance to fight them. They can see normally at night. But everyone else has... The best time to attack them is during the daytime, which is currently daytime, right? So they're asleep, they're getting rest, they're on guard shifts, that's about it. You won't find them working, but you might find them resting, right?
And also, don't they have a penalty fighting in the daylight?
They do.
Yes, they do.
This is actually optimal time to fight them right now.
I say we head out right now and try to find their camp, and then if we can find it, we can
sleep
camp with them.
Yeah.
Raid the goblin camps.
Yep.
Let's do that then.
Yes.
Alright, so we've got a plan now. Oh, did we lose our guy?
Oh, Discord might be...
It's okay.
No.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah, I think Discord might be a little funky. Because it'll kick people out.
It's all good.
You good?
Everything alright, Margaret? Allure?
What will the group do?
We're going to be fighting goblins. Ambushing in our camps.
Do you agree with this group, or do you have any questions or concerns about their plan? They've seemed to agree to take on this job for the elves, right? Or help the elves out with their issues.
Yeah, for us to have our resources.
Yeah, I guess it's killing two birds with one stone. They're not just helping their base, but they're also helping the elves, right? So.
Yeah.
Now, bear in
good
mind,
relation with elves might realize one day.
while you are out here helping the elves, the cannibals will be having their way with your base, right? Because there's no one else to protect your base from the cannibals. And the last report was that the cannibals are growing in numbers, right? There might be around 26, more or less, right?
Yeah.
So you might come home to ruin, right? So if you're not fast enough and efficient enough. Let's see. The cannibals can attack at any time.
At least one member should go back to the base.
Yeah. If you head back to base, it's okay. We'll just backtrack all the way to the shoreline. If we get kicked out of here, we'll have to start a campaign elsewhere. We'll be back at square one or square zero, just trying to start up a new campaign. Right.
Yeah, square zero.
Alright.
Maybe we can hold the line with the elves if things get bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These elves have lived here for a long while, so. But now they've recently had issues with the goblins, who are mostly peaceful with the elves, but every now and then they will visit the elves for their woods. Actually, they are forced everywhere for the goblins to cut down trees from, but if they want to make it very efficient, they'll send groups to the north, east, west, and maybe south, right, to gather wood for their lands. Alright, maybe you can settle it peacefully. Maybe you can, if you're a diplomat, get them to stop getting wood from the elves and focus on other areas instead. But the elves, they have tried to protect themselves and failed to do so, unfortunately. For the elves, recently at least, they just don't have enough people to send out there at the moment to fight off these goblin scum. Right. So your men are sent out there instead to help the elves out. The elves are focused more so on their own survival at the moment, sustaining what remains of their base, right? So they kind of gave up on their south force. They don't want to give up on it completely, hence why they're hiring you to deal with their smaller problems, right? So, all right.
Yeah. So,
do you want to push
head
south?
South.
Okay.
Stealthily.
Straight south.
Stealthily. That's my
That's
suggestion.
the goblin
Stealth.
though.
Yeah, the goblins are most likely coming from these mountains right here.
Yeah, that's what they said. They're actually in this grid right now. That's what this sounds like.
Yep.
But they're posted around here. But what we should do is approach south stealthily, carefully. Careful movement.
Careful movement.
What we
Shoot
can
south.
do, Ethan, is we could go southeast. That way, if we need
They're
to
also,
retreat, we can retreat back to our base.
yes, but they're also around here, and we don't want to chase them back into our area.
Yeah, no
True,
one knows
true.
what's living out here, but the elves have told you what's living out here now, so we can mark it on your map. Goblins.
Yeah. Well, they're not living out here, but they have tree cutters over here. We don't want to draw them into our camp.
Okay. Well, I say regardless, if they're like in this area, we're gonna have to deal with them regardless. So I say we scout out this whole section here, because even if they're here, that's too close for comfort.
Yeah, you want to secure our borders, yeah.
Exactly. And because
All right, what do you think, though? You
our
are the...
neighbors are here, you know.
Yeah.
We
What do you...
we shall venture south. We shall attack during the day. We shall cut their ears off for proof, and we shall then retreat back to the elves. We shall do this over and over again until we amass a pile of goblin ears.
Yeah. We also have to keep taking care of our base, too, you know.
Yeah.
Alright then. So, south it is. Right. Let's see.
Yeah, careful movement, I recommend.
Careful movement to the south. Okay.
Always be careful.
Alright then. And we were at an elf outpost, which we'll represent with a triangle, which are smaller bases. And you'll make your way south through these forests. During your time moving through these woods, the elf woods, there's a chance to encounter monsters, none encountered. Chance to encounter animals, none encountered. And a chance to encounter a threat on the way. 1 in 6 chance to encounter on the way to their known territory or position, a goblin patrol possibly. Alright, no. And now automatic encounter with signs of the goblins then up ahead. So this is a goblin area, so we're goblin territory now, so we're gonna roll for surprise. Are we surprised? Yes. Are they surprised? Yes. So neither side is surprised, instead it's just close contact. So you don't notice them, they don't notice you until you're within a close position of them. So 1d4, since we're in the woods, we'll do yards, right? So it wasn't until you were so you were just marching through this dense woodland in the cold of winter. It wasn't until maybe 3 feet you come across a trench, right? So you were just moving through the woods and looking out for any signs of the goblins, and actually it's thickets everywhere, briars and such, snow, trees, and then you walk over some mound of snow, and then right beyond it is a trench. So you came across a trench, right, just now, just a line of trench here stretching east to west. It's all jagged, moving along here, and this is not terribly far off to the south. Maybe about a mile out to the south, you come across a trench. So you've found a trench. You see no goblin in the trench at the moment, but there could be some further in. So the trench seems empty at the moment. You want to climb down, or do you want to approach the trench from a different angle? So if you want, you can map out the area. For now, this trench that you're at is stretching. We'll do. It is a straight trench, so it's stretching east to west, right, for about 30 feet, and then from there, there's other parts of the trench that will branch off, right, on either end. So this particular trench is stretching east to west 30 feet, and it's currently empty. You don't see much in it. It's just an empty trench.
Yeah. How wide is it?
It's about 5 feet wide.
Okay.
Do we know how deep it is?
All right. So you don't see them, and they don't see you, but you can actually hear them. So you're listening, right? And you can hear them. They seem. What you hear right now is you hear like bickering, and it seems to be coming from under you, right? So you're looking from the north side. You're looking south into their trench, but there might be, a hidey hole that on the sides of the trench, right? And from what you can tell, you can hear something under, like basically under your feet. So if you
Yeah,
climb
grenade
into the
was gonna
trench,
be
you
good.
might see them, right? Or you might see a little hole in the side of the trench, right, that you can climb into, if that makes sense, right? So you can hear some of them underneath you, like bickering, like they're like, "Hey, did you hear that?" Right? And they'll. I don't think anyone is able to speak Goblin, so no one here understands what it sounds or what they're saying, but you can definitely hear bickering, right?
I
Someone's
speak
yelling.
Goblin. Elves speak Goblin.
Elves speak Hobgoblin. So,
Is it Hobgoblin?
yeah, it might sound similar, but still different. Just like English and German are similar but different.
Or hobgoblins and gnolls.
So very similar sounds, but
Right.
still very different. You might recognize a single word or two as they talk. But yeah, FALRANTH, unless you're intelligent, you can choose to learn their language. You're not intelligent enough. If you had a +1 intelligence bonus from 13, right?
Right.
But
I do not. I don't believe.
we can test
+1.
Margaret's. Margaret's got 10.
Am I intelligent enough to know Goblin?
Uh, yeah, you could if you want. You have high intelligence. You want to choose to know Goblin?
Perfect. I will know Goblin.
We'll say that, yeah, during your prior military service, you learned Goblin, right? You were maybe fighting in the Goblin Wars. So, yeah, you can understand them. You heard them whispering to each other. One of them said, "Would you heard at first when you got there? It was like mid conversation. You were like, why would the elves be here? It's too early. Maybe it's an animal. It's got to be an animal. No, they're speaking. Do you hear them? They're speaking. Animals don't speak. Hey, you should go check. No, you." All right, so that's what you're kind of hearing.
Is there a rock or something nearby?
Can't see any visible rocks at the moment in the forest, but there are definitely branches, twigs, and snow.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a branch and push some snow into the trench to see if we can draw them out.
I'm going to back up. I'm going to hide behind a tree.
Okay.
FALRANTH is going to prepare a magic missile spell.
Sounds good. So FALRANTH, you're able to memorize one spell per day. It sounds like it's magic missile then. So let me note this down. Spells. Magic missile.
Yeah, I have, I believe it says, what, light and magic missile?
Yes. Alright, so if you cast it now, you will have a missile floating with you for the next 2 turns, and you can toss it instantaneously, right? Do you want to cast it now?
I'm
get
gonna
ready?
wait
Okay, that's fine.
until the snow maybe draws one out, because I have to have visual confirmation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I suppose to cast it, you don't need it, but to actually throw it at an enemy, you do need it, right? Let's see. So, because how magic missile works is it does have a duration in which you can just have it float at your side. This was brought up by a player in the past. Yeah. So you can see, magic missile has 1 turn duration. So a magic missile is glowing, created, and shot by magic. Let's see. Basically, yeah, you're able to cast it. It will just float around for 1 turn until you're ready to throw it, and it automatically hits any visible target.
Okay.
And it's instantaneous.
I will cast it and have it floating with me and ready to use.
Alright, sounds good. So, yep, if you cast it now for the next 10 minutes, it will just be floating at your side, ready to, of course, be shot. And ready to hit any visible target automatically. Alright. So yeah, you're in the middle of, you're casting that spell out. As you're casting your spell, KRACETH is backing up to a tree, preparing his weapon, I suppose, or his spell.
I don't have a weapon.
Oh yeah, just
I'm
your
ready
spell.
to cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 2 sleeps prepared to use them.
Sarah is sweeping snow down into the trench. As that's happening, Margaret, do you want to stay back in the tree line and prepare your bow and arrow, or something else? Or do you want to like stand right above the trench and prepare to shoot? Or is there anything else you want to try?
I'll probably try your suggestion about the arrow. Yeah.
One more time? What do you want to do?
Hello?
Hello.
Gotta hide under a tree and like prepare the arrow.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So you hide behind a tree, you've got your bow and arrow ready. Alright, so Sarah,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
sweep some snow into the trench, and let's see how they react to this. They react hostile. So they are not in favor of what just happened, right? As you sweep it in there, they actually warn you. They threaten you. They say, "Hey, whatever's up there." And they say this in the Goblin language, so the others don't understand. They more hear kind of just like barking and yapping, right, from the trench. But the one who does understand, which is Sarah, you hear them warning you, right? They're like, "Hey, whatever's up there, better not come down. We'll kill you." The others here are more like, right? Just barking and yapping. So Sarah, after hearing this warning, do you want to keep sweeping snow in there? They warned you not to come down, that's it. So they said if you come down, they'll kill you.
Okay. I'm going to ready my bow and arrow, and I'm going to respond to them in Goblin, and I'm going to tell them that I got lost, that we were attacked by elves to the northwest.
Alright, let's see how they react to this. As Sarah does this, of course, before this, of course, FALRANTH, you were able to cast your missile quietly and carefully from behind the trees, and the others were able to post up behind the trees as well. In the meantime, as Sarah begins to speak to them in Goblin, do the rest of you want to just stand by? If not, if you want to try something else, please speak up. This is your chance.
I will keep, because we're currently looking at the south, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna keep my eyes west to make sure we're not getting flanked by any goblins in
Sure.
the west.
You'll watch westward. They react hostilely or not in favor. They say to you in the same language, like, they say, they respond with immediate confusion. They're like, "You speak our language, but you don't sound like us." Right? "Who are you? We'll kill you."
I'll tell them that my throat was injured. That's why I sound different. And I'm going to tell them that I was able to knock unconscious an elf and tie them up and bring them with me. And I'm going to kind of like gesture to FALRANTH to kind of like grunt in Elvish or something.
Okay. Will the DM allow me to grunt?
Well, first, Sarah,
In
do you
Elvish.
whisper, or how do you communicate with FALRANTH to do that? Like, do you say that in the common tongue? Because FALRANTH is further back, right, behind a tree.
Oh, okay. I thought he was with me. No. So then I'll tell them that I need help dragging this elf in. I'll tell them that I had my uh, fucking throat punched earlier. That's why my language, like, that's why I sound different right now.
Right. So they asked who you were, and they warned you again that they'll kill you if you come down. Right. So they already don't believe that you're one of them, and they're asking you who you are instead, and they warn you a second time that if you come down, they'll kill you. And you explained just now that uh, you're one of them, that you got hurt in the throat, and that you're bringing a prisoner back. So let's see how they react to this. They react positively in favor this time. So they already think that they're not sure if you're one of them, right? You explained that your throat got hurt, so they kind of agree with that. And they hear about an elf prisoner, so they are in favor of that too. They say they're at least willing to hear you out now. So they say, an elf prisoner, really? We'll have a look ourselves to confirm. And one of the goblins carefully peeks out of the hole. At that point, did you want to attack it? He's climbing out of
I
the hole.
released the magic missile at his head.
Okay, FALRANTH, let's say you were looking over the trench then with Sarah then. Is that fine? So you
If I have visual on the goblin, I'm releasing it.
Because I thought you were behind a tree, right? Or were you not?
No, that was Ethan.
Wow.
Ethan was behind the
I was
tree.
behind.
Well, him and Margaret were back there, and I thought FALRANTH was back there too. Unless FALRANTH is out here with Sarah looking into the trench. Is that right?
Sure.
So suppose you're looking over the trench then with Sarah, and you see this guy crawl out of his little hole on the north side of the trench, which is your blind spot, right? You can't see that side clearly because you're looking southward into the trench. So he climbs out, and as soon as you see him, you launch a missile at him, right? And he's immediately hit for 1d6 plus 1 damage. Go ahead and roll.
Did you want me to roll in Discord? I'm not in the game.
Oh,
by the way, I don't have the.
Here, let me send the link in the chat.
I don't. Yeah.
So if you want to join in and roll the simulator dice, please do. I'll send the link. And if you don't want to, no worries. You can also use the Dice Rules channel.
Magic doesn't do ×2 damage.
We'll double check.
Yeah. I've seen qualities, but that's for weapons. I don't know actual magic.
Where did you send the?
It's in the VC chat.
Oh yeah, the voice
you can
chat.
Find it if you.
In the open chat, if you open it. I can DM it to you too.
Okay.
Alright, were you able to... Oh, there you are. Alright, just make sure you change your name to Low or... Yeah, Low at some point on here. I can't change it myself. But I'm assuming you're a commoner?
Yeah.
Alright. So go ahead, open the dice tray when ready. And you're going to roll 2d6 then. It's going to be double damage. It's a magical attack. It's a
7.
very powerful missile made of magic. 7 plus 2 is 9 damage total. This is a normal monster, it's not magical. So he's hit for double damage. And he's blasted for a total of, again, was it 9 damage total? I don't think he has a chance of survival here. Not at all. Yeah, so that missile hits him and he is blasted into the trench, right? He's obliterated by a force of magic, right? And with that, it's who's Archmage? Is that one of us?
I obliterated him.
You did.
I think I am.
You're Archmage? Okay, I'll limit you. Just make sure you change your name as well to Allure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, so the goblin is hit by magic missile and it basically is blasted into the ground, right? From the force of magic that you launched at it. And with that,
You know, there's a
with that said, we're gonna make a morale check. That's the first blood. So morale check. So it's either, if they fail, it'll be a surrender or a flee, if possible. So it is a 7 on their morale. And let's check the goblin's morale. We'll double check it. I think it's a 7, but I'm gonna double check. It is a 7 indeed. It is a higher score, I think, if they have their king with them. They passed. So they don't give up the fight yet. As for their numbers in this particular trench, we'll go with 2 to 8 appearing in this particular trench. So there are a few left in there from what it sounds like. You already blessed the one into the trench. The others are maybe panicked and alarmed. They're like, "You liar!" in the goblin tongue, right? "Bastards!" right? And they're like, "They killed Joffrey! No, they killed Joffrey!" right? They're so mad, saddened by the loss of their comrade.
I tell them, "Oh fuck! The elf woke up. Come help me tie it up again. Hurry!"
Alright, so you say that to them as you request their help from up here after FALRANTH blasted one into the trench ground or trench floor. As you're saying that to them, FALRANTH, what would be your immediate follow-up action? So right after you cast your spell, would you take cover? Would you do something else? Prepare your weapon?
I only get to cast one spell per day?
Yeah, so you're out of spells. So at this point, you might draw your bow and arrow.
Okay.
Prepare to shoot.
Yeah. Well, I would like to get behind a tree, draw the bow and arrow.
Get behind a tree? Okay.
Yeah, and draw my bow. Wow.
Alright, so you'll take cover first, and as you're moving to cover, falling back, I would suppose, northward, right? You'll take out your bow and arrow. In the meantime, the other two were further back, waiting for any signs of the enemy. You can hear them. You have no visuals yet, so that's for KRACETH and MARGARET. From here, do you have a change of action, or do you want to remain behind cover, ready to fire? Or ready to cast?
I'm getting ready to cast, like, once I see one.
Alright, so back here, you're not looking over into the trench right now, unless you want to. You're behind the tree, so you're further back from the trench.
That'd be a horrible idea for me.
Alright. And you're watching west, and we have made some noises, and from what you can tell, you think you start to hear things, or maybe even see movement toward the southwest. From what you could tell, so far it just sounded like you heard something to the southwest mainly. And from what you can see from out here, the trench, just to give you an idea how it looks, you're at one side of the trench, which you're at the you're at the one side of the trench that goes east to west, but there's another side of the trench that goes on the west side, which is the side you're observing, it goes southwest. And on the east side, the side you're not observing, from what you can tell, it goes northeast, right? So the trench is not a straight line entirely. It's a jagged trench. There are two other sides of the trench, from what you can tell. And there could be more, but you can start to hear things to the southwest, from what you can tell. You're looking and listening in that direction, you can kind of hear something over there, right?
Is it just this part that's straight? Because you said it was a straight trench.
Yeah, you're at this part of the trench, right? Imagine this is a 30-foot trench, east to west.
Yeah. I'm gonna start casting.
All right, start casting. No visuals yet, but maybe there will be some upon the time of cast.
Yeah, and I can hold it for quite a bit.
Yeah, you could like pause at the last gesture or word, right, before you cast it.
Oh, it has a long duration.
Sleep?
Yeah.
Well, once you cast on them, yeah. But if you cast it, it's only one time, right? So like,
Okay, I see. It's fine.
it's not a.
Yeah, I
So
just
the
start.
duration, it only lasts that long if the creature actually falls asleep, but the number of creatures falling asleep depends on how many you actually target upon casting, right? So it's an instantaneous kind of thing that takes effect. It does not last. So that duration that says on there is not how long you can keep on casting the spell. That's how long they stay asleep once you've casted sleep on a monster.
Okay, that's fine.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Okay.
I'm still casting.
All right, so you're in the middle of casting at this point, and Margaret, you're on standby still with your weapon, or do you want to try anything else? By the way, which weapon do you want to have ready? Your spear and shield, or your sling and shield, or something else?
I'll try this spear and shield.
Okay.
In case for a close.
If they get
combat.
close. Well, we're out in the open right now, so it might be a while before they get close.
Okay. Only the sling.
You want to have the sling ready so you can fire from a distance? Okay. Sure. Alright. So, let's see how they react to what Sarah says from above the trench. They react favorably, so they seem somewhat convinced to what she's saying. At least they're reacting positively to it to some extent. Now, they already know certain things, like one of their guys are dead, and that, you know, they know a few things already for sure. But based on what she just said recently, that, you know, she said, help, we're under attack, or something like, please come out and help us. They react and they respond, they say, you know, they agree, they say, we will come out as soon as our friends get here, right? So they agree that they will come out as soon as their friends arrive, right? And as they say that, one of them screams out, right? Or not screams out, but blows on a blowhorn, right? And you can hear from within the trench a horn sounding off in the trench. And it's very loud and bellowing, and it spreads all through the woods, right? So they blow the horn. This alerts maybe not just this trench, but other trenches out there, and, you know, further on, right? So they sound the alarm from within their trench through an animal horn, right? So you hear one of them blow the horn in their trench from within their little hole. So it's not as audible as if it would be if they're outside, but audible enough at least for the nearest goblins to help them or hear them, right? And possibly reinforce their position. We already can hear movement in the southwest, maybe, right? What's up?
How many goblins does FALRANTH believe are in this trench in front of me after I obliterated one of them?
You heard a few different voices down there. It doesn't sound like, and it doesn't seem like there could fit too many more, right? Or, yeah, doesn't seem like there could be much more down there.
Whenever my action is, I've got an action ready, but I'll wait. Please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for this round, we're in round 2 right now, second round of combat. And for this round, we know that Sarah spoke with the goblins, they replied, and also sounded the alarm. And throughout round 2, we know that Margaret was able to continue to stand watch with the sling and stone and her shield. And we know that KRACETH was able to cast sleep throughout this round. But she did not finish casting because she had no visuals on any enemies yet. So she's mid-cast, she's just concentrating, and if she does anything other than concentrate and continue casting, her spell will of course fizz out, right? It will fizz out. So she's at mid-cast, right? She's concentrating, right? She's got the spell just about to launch, right? And there's still no visuals, but there's definitely an alarm that's been set off, right? There could be reinforcements on the way very soon. So, and You are further back behind a tree, looking over into the trench, and you're looking kind of southwest, right where you heard or thought you saw movement. So we might see some approaching very soon. All right, and that is about all that happens during round 2. So, for your side at least. Let's see. I rolled the morale check for this group, determining if they're gonna heed the call. This group. Right. So for this next round, basically at the end of the round, last round, there was movement and there was visuals. So you were able to launch a sleep spell toward the south if you'd like. What you saw from out here, from the north, looking southwest, as they round the corner and make their way into our trench that we can actually have eyes on, right? So you couldn't really see them clearly when they were moving through their trench, but once they arrived, they moved through this trench. You can see them moving through the trench. Just one of them, it's holding a bow and arrow. He's peeking into the trench. They don't all just push in. So you see a singular goblin, right, peek from one side of the trench into our trench here that we're overlooking, and he's just peeking with a bow and arrow. Do you want to launch your sleep at that point, or do you want to hold off? So you just see one goblin southwest.
I'm holding off.
Okay, and that singular goblin, he moved in and took aim and is about to fire in the following round. For round 3, he's about to loose an arrow on one of our guys. The guy standing right above the trench, which is one guy, Sarah, right?
Am I able to shoot my arrow? Because I said I had an arrow, my bow and arrow ready.
Yes, I suppose you could. So you were talking with the goblins down in the trench, and then you saw them approach from the southwest, or from the west, and we'll say that you'll return fire, but they'll also fire at you at the same time, right? So as soon as you saw them, you fired, and they fired at you as soon as they saw you. And it will be a test of initiative, because you weren't originally facing that direction. If you were guarding that particular direction, you would automatically win the initiative. But the idea is that you were in the middle of conversation.
Yeah.
And they were moving, and they also didn't get the drop on you either, because you're kind of facing them at the same time, not directly, but indirectly. And they had to, of course, move and then observe and spot you and then fire, which you're out in the open. So they'll move, see you, take aim, fire. You would have to just notice them, take aim, fire. So it's kind of a initiative roll, right? So we'll leave it up to the dice to determine who fires first. So you can roll.
Okay, and then so for initiative,
This will be
I roll
counting
low,
for
right?
round. I will say this will count for round 2. So we're not on round 3 yet. We're about to be round 3, but this happened near the end of round 2. Yeah, D6. You won. So at the very, or in the final seconds of round 2, you saw them arrive on the scene and about to loose an arrow, and you loosed an arrow first. You roll to hit now, 1d20. And given that it's the end of the round, you can only fire one strong attack, I would say. It won't make sense to fire 2 shots anymore, since that wasn't...
I'll do a strong attack.
So 16 was a hit, so you're going to deal double damage. So go ahead and roll double damage then. It's going to be... What kind of bow is it? 2D, or you got a short bow, right?
Yeah, so it's 2d6.
2d6 and then 2d6 again, because these are small enemies. They take double damage from larger enemies. So, alright.
14 damage.
So you hit him for 14, and there's no chance of survival there. So he died. So, shot him, arrow went right through him, and he fell dead, right? He's harder to hit, but he's easier to kill. And you rolled high enough to hit him, I would say. You scored a 16 with your bonuses included. You would get a short range, +1, so 17. And this guy peeked, so... Of course, he had some cover, he had some armor, but 17 should be high enough. The goblin would have default armor class of 7, with body armor, which included a helmet and also some goblin metal armor. It's like a goblin, maybe like goblin scale armor or something. Let me double check what they have available. They have metal armor though. Okay, so armor, scale or scale. Alright, we'll say that he had some kind of so they have access to iron, so they're able to make iron armor. The cheapest iron armor affordable is either scale or mail. So we'll say he had goblin chain armor. Yeah. Okay, so goblin mail. He was wearing goblin mail, which is a -2 AC bonus. He had a he would have had a probably a goblin heavy helm too. So rounds minus 4 AC then.
4 AC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
It might be a miss.
that's still not hit.
Actually, it might be a
Well,
miss.
he has the high ground.
High
Remember, he has
ground.
the high ground too.
Yeah, because we started at 7. So let's do the Goblin's armor class. He had 7 armor class, -4 from his body armor. So it went to armor class 3. And then size went to armor class -1. So he had armor class -1. So when we rolled a 16, we had a +1 for short range and +1 for high ground. So we went up to 18. The goblin also had half cover, so half his body was only peeking. So we're down to 18. If we add the armor class, we're at 17. And we need to get to 19. And then with the goblin's half cover, we're at 15. So technically we missed due to the goblin's armor and cover. So the armor actually protected it, technically, yeah. So it would have been a kill if this goblin wasn't heavily armored. But unfortunately, the arrow bounces off the armor, right? So hits him in the armor, bounces off, and the goblin survives that. So unfortunate situation, yeah. He's a well-armored goblin. Gets hit by an arrow, and the arrow bounces off his iron armor. Alright. Naturally, these are more prized goblins, so if you manage to kill them, they're more valuable given their armor, which can be smelted down to raw iron, right? And then changed into better gear.
Do I get to shoot an arrow?
You couldn't see this one. You're in the tree further back. You're able to look over the land beyond the trenches, but you can't actually see too well into the trenches from the tree you're at, I think. Actually, I'll say yeah. I'll say you can. You just can't see directly into your trench, but from here to the southwest, I could see it happening. You could see kind of over there, just not directly south, because you're too close to this trench to see clearly down there unless you were standing right over it. But from a distance, I would say you could see the one over here. So yeah, you could loose an arrow too. You fell back with the bow and arrow. You saw him. You loosed an arrow. You are considered a moving target though. Or actually no, you would move, turn, see him, aim and fire. So you would stop moving and then you would fire, and he would stop moving and fire too. So 2 stationary shooters. So go ahead and roll a hit. If you move and fire, you're not very accurate. So, alright, you roll a 6. Alright, you also will miss. So both of you misfire. The arrows go flying into the trench. One hits the trench, one hits the armor, and bounces off. 1 arrow depleted from either side. FALRANTH, you drop to 19 shots. And Margaret, you're down to... Or not. Margaret, you had a sling, not a bow. No, wait, no, it's not Margaret firing, it's Sarah.
Yeah, it was
Sorry, I mixed
Sarah.
the names. Margaret, I'll let you fire too, actually, though. Because you've been waiting behind cover and you see this guy arriving on the scene as well. So go ahead and roll a hit. So we have 3 shooters on our side and 1 on their side, because they only peeked with 1. They have a line of goblins further back.
Yeah.
So to roll to hit, by the way, if you're in the simulator, open the dice tray, and you're gonna roll 1d20 to hit. Also, I got to roll for the goblin shot. The goblin fired at our fighter up here. By the way, the guys further back, I'm gonna say it's even harder for you to hit. By the way, because you're further out, you can barely see the goblin, right? So the goblin almost has like full cover, right? You can just barely see him.
Only
What
that
dice
one.
can I?
You still have a lineup, but you can barely see him, right? You can like see like his head. That's about it. So the other one was the clearest sign of or the clearest visuals on the goblins. The one, you know, at the actual trench. Naturally, it would make sense though, right? Because you have cover, right? So that's your benefit, and he has, right? He has no cover.
Yeah.
So, and the goblin over here has half cover, right? So, all right.
Wait. How can I hit?
Roll 1d20.
Can I roll the die?
Yep, the 20-sider. So,
What?
in the dice tray, click on the
This
20-sided
one?
die, and then click roll.
Yeah. And roll.
There you go. Ah, you missed. You rolled too low. So you got unlucky.
Yeah.
So all the guys in our team got. Oh, you get a fire. Alright, you roll twice. That's fine. You can fire up to 2 times per round, technically. So the goblin moved, fired. We, of course, were stationary. Upon arrival, you shot off 2 quick shots as the goblin moved in. Upon moving, you loosed the shot. He took aim, loosed the shot. You loosed your second shot. You missed twice. So the goblin's bombarded by friendly fire, right? Our side firing on him, and no one lands a single hit.
Sad.
The goblin returns fire.
So for my first attack, am I able to roll a second attack then? Because I only did one.
Well, you did a strong attack because you fired at the very last second. So you were already occupied talking. You're occupied talking with the goblins, right? So Margaret during round 2 was stationary guarding, right, looking out for enemies. That's why I allowed her 2 attacks. I only allowed you 1 powerful attack because you were using the most of the round to discuss with the goblins down there in the trench,
Okay.
right? So
Am
you
I
were
still
busy.
able to do movement though, or no?
During round 2, I mean that wasn't your plan, right? I mean, your plan was to. This is not round 3, so we're ending round 2. We're trying to end it.
Oh,
right now.
okay, I see. Yeah, gotcha.
So we're trying to end it, but before we end it, we're reacting to what they did, which this side arrived on the scene halfway through round 2 or near the end of round 2, and then upon arrival, technically Margaret and the guys on watch fired at the goblins before you could fire, because you were in the middle of conversation with the goblins in the trench.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The idea is that you would
Okay.
say something to them, and they would reply, and that would be in the end of the round. Because what you said was within 1 to 5 seconds, maybe, and then you would get your reply 1 to 5 seconds in the last half of the round, right? Because you said for them to come out and help you, that the elf is attacking, and then they reply that they will come out as soon as their friends arrive, and that was the end of the round for them, right?
Yeah.
So in the first 5 seconds, you told them something. In the last 5 seconds, you fired at the enemy, and in the same time, those last 5 seconds, they replied, right? So, and they also blew the horn. So, over here, they moved, they got shot at, they fire at you, they got shot at again, right? That was from Margaret firing twice. That was from KRACETH launching a sleep spell at this point, maybe, or not yet. That was FALRANTH firing his own weapon. That was you firing your weapon once at them. And now here comes their firing. They return fire, of course. They see you, they spot you, they fire at you. Rolling to hit. They got a 12 against our Sarah. Sarah is wearing a helmet. That's a hit. So naturally they're easier to hit and hard to hit, easy to kill. We are easy to hit, hard to kill. So although it hits you, it's gonna deal half damage. So this short bow goblin is gonna deal 1d3 damage to you from the trenches. Alright, 3 damage. So Sarah's hit, right? 3 damage is hitting Sarah. This is an edged weapon. You are wearing. Let's see where it hit you. If it hits you in an area you don't have armor on, it deals double damage. If it does, it deals normal damage. So it hits you in the body, and you have no body armor, so it deals double. So you suffer bleed damage as well, puncture damage. So The damage was originally going to be 3, but it's double, so it's also an extra 2, so 5 damage total. It punctured some organ in your gut. Maybe you drop to 0 hit points. You are dying at this point. To stay conscious, you're going to make a saving throw versus death. Go ahead and roll 1d20 to stay conscious. This is for Sarah. So we've got our first casualty. Alright, that's a fail. So Sarah is unconscious and dying. It was a body injury, so that means every 2 rounds you'll make another saving throw to not bleed out to death, right? So every other round you will make a save again against death to not die until the bleeding stops, right? The bleeding will continue until you're bandaged, or if you get very lucky, but it's very low chance of getting lucky. So to get lucky, the idea is that you would have to survive bleeding out for a long enough time for the bleed to cauterize on its own, which is could take a while, right? So let's see, maybe a turn, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know if you.
If I have a con of 12, isn't that a +1? Wouldn't I add the con to my save?
12 is a +0, 13 is a +1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright, Wisdom will help against spell saves, Constitution will help against other saves, bodily saves, and you have a +0. Your score that you needed to hit was 12, and you got, what was it, like a 9, right? So
Oh, okay, gotcha.
missed by 3 points. If you want, you can use your reroll. You have a reroll, it says.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
We'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll another saving throw versus death to stay
Oh,
conscious. Alright,
13.
you are still conscious then. You can still take action. So you're not unconscious and dying. You're dying, but you're conscious. So you can actually tend to yourself if you wanted to, if you have bandages. It's a lot slower and possibly more ineffective, but it is possible to tend to your own wounds. So you're 0 hit points. Your status is you've got a bleeding and a bleeding gut. You were shot in the gut. Chance of survival is pretty low, but it's possible, right? So you've been punctured in the gut. You're bleeding in the gut. Let's see. Yeah. It was a body hit. The goblin gets to choose where in the body it hit you. Chose your gut. Let's see. Okay. If it wanted your heart, you'd have to roll a... Or that would be an automatic kill. So, can't roll anywhere that would automatically kill you. Alright, it chose your gut out of all places. So, basically, gut injuries are likely to be fatal due to infection. Unless someone can open it up and sew up your gut and keep it from going infected. You will probably die from this wound. You will live for now, because it takes a while to die from a gut injury, but eventually you will die. Let's see. Most likely of infection. So Sarah's wounded. She's dying. She's got a bleeding gut. She's still conscious though. So next round she's still in the fight and can continue fighting possibly. She's down though. She's wounded, so she's got a -4 to hit. Right? Low chance to hit, but a chance to save herself at the very least and crawl away to cover. So possible casualty. Sarah is down. With that said, we also hear movement toward the northeast, but that sounds like distant movement, like it's moving away from us, right? So whatever is down there, it's moving out of the trench maybe, or away, right? So broke morale or has a different plan in mind, right? Maybe to report the attack or get reinforcements, right? But the alarm has already been sounded. Those guys are climbing out of the trench, moving east, it sounds like. Alright, so with that said, that is the end of round 2 officially. So now we're in round 3. The situation is getting kind of worse, right? We already have a downed member. So back to Margaret. Margaret, do you want to keep firing your slinging stones into the trench, or do you want to try something else?
Can I? Can I roll the dice?
Can you what?
Can I roll the dice for the sling.
Oh, you want to fire? You don't roll yet. You're choosing your action right now, so you're choosing to fire at the enemy still
Oh, okay.
for round 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll continue firing at the enemy to the southwest. As you do that, FALRANTH, it's your turn. So last round, you kind of fell back with your bow and arrow equipped, and you saw enemies, so you loosed on them, one shot. Do you want to keep firing at them or something else? Margaret? Or
No.
sorry, FALRANTH?
Yeah, I'm here. I would like if I have a target, can I fire?
You can. Now, you also can hear enemies moving through the eastern trench. They're moving northeast currently, or out of the trench, or away. You can't tell, you just hear them, you don't see them, but you can hear movement east of you. Do you want to ignore that and continue fighting or firing at the visible targets to the southwest?
I will fire at the visual targets at the southwest, but after I release one arrow, can I take off?
Yeah, you can loose an arrow and then move. Where would you want to move after loosing your arrow?
Away from the ones that I hear from the east.
Okay, so you want to move west?
Yeah.
Or northwest? So there are enemies to the southwest,
yeah.
and there are enemies to the east, so you would move northwest away from both groups.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fire and then move.
Sounds good. Sarah, your plan this round, you're down, you're bleeding from your gut. Do you want to crawl to cover or something else?
I'm gonna crawl to cover, and I'm gonna patch some snow onto the wound to slow the bleeding.
Smart. KRACETH, what would you want to do on your turn?
I hold my spell.
Yeah, you only have one visual moment.
Yeah.
And you were
Waiting to see
facing
them all.
southwest, right? If you move, by the way, to face the east, your spell, of course, would
I'm not.
dissipate.
I'm not moving. I'm keeping my eyes.
Alright, concentrating to the southwest, right? As originally you were facing that way, westward, southwest. Yep, so you're seeing them. You see the one guy still firing, maybe. Everyone has declared their actions, so now we're going to resolve this combat round, round 3. So what actually happened this round is we see Margaret continue to bombard the position with stone. We see FALRANTH also helping with that. Sarah crawling away, KRACETH holding his spell back. And before you can even continue firing, the one goblin that got bombarded a moment ago, it decides to back up and take cover. So, actually, I'm gonna make a morale check. If it passes, they'll be brave enough to push. If it fails, oh no, if it passes, they'll be brave enough to keep firing. If it fails, they'll fall back, given that he's under a lot of fire. Fails, so he backed up. So before you can continue firing and bombarding the position with fire, you can hold back instead, because starting with FALRANTH, you see the goblin, before you can even loose your arrow, your next shot, the goblin steps out of the way, right? He backs up, so he's out of sight. At that point, you took off, or did you want to wait and see if he comes back out to shoot him? So you notice your target disappears right before you can fire, right? Your next shot.
Right, so I will turn to the east, where I hear the east.
Okay.
Goblins are coming, and wait for a target.
Okay, so you didn't move. You stayed put. You're directly north of the south trench, and you didn't move northwest. Then you're gonna stay here and turn and watch east. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then of course, Margaret, your original action was to fire at the goblin southwest of you. However, like I told FALRANTH, before you could fire your next stone, he backed out of there. He took cover. So do you want to watch him to see if he pokes his head out again and fire at him, or like do you want to guard that position, or do you want to do something else? So your target is out of sight now, so you can change your action.
Yeah. Allure, you there? Margaret?
Okay. In the meantime, KRACETH, you held your spell back, and then of course, the fighter Sarah was able to crawl to cover. You like crawled over to a tree and got behind it, and then with that you grab some snow and start packing it onto your wound. Maybe that might help. All right. So the goblins to the southwest took cover. We know the goblins to the east. We don't know what they did, but we heard them moving. The goblins to the south remained in their hidey hole. So the combat has been disengaged, so we're no longer in combat because neither side is attacking anymore. Except we do have a spellcaster right in the open that hasn't launched the spell yet. Right. He's watching from behind a tree, of course. But
I do have cover from the south, which is not the southwest. I'm just waiting for.
yeah, you have no visuals. You're watching southwest.
If we want.
Behind a tree. Yeah.
You could cast that sleep on me. It would slow down my bleeding, and then we can retreat back to the elves, and they can help fucking heal me.
We got a singular kill, which is not worth a single XP. We have to kill 2 goblins to get 1 XP. We have a wounded though too, so we could drag him back to the elves to get her taken care of, right? Situation's pretty risky. The enemy are on the defensive, by the way, so they don't have any need to attack, right? We're the ones attacking, so they can wait all day. This is their trench, right? The guys in the hidey hole are waiting for you to come down. The guys to the southwest are waiting for a clear opportunity to fire without receiving fire back. The guys to the northeast, we have no idea what they're doing. We heard them moving, but they didn't make themselves seen. So now that we're out of combat, the spellcaster is busy still concentrating on his spell. It's up to FALRANTH and Margaret and Sarah to figure out what to do from here. Sarah shares her plan. She's thinking we should head back. KRACETH can't do anything. He's in mid-cast. So, FALRANTH and Margaret, what do you think we should do from here?
I'm going to cover our spellcaster, get right next to him, and just scan the area for the only for any goblins that poke up. I'm protecting the spellcaster at all costs.
Alright, so
Okay.
as FALRANTH guards the spellcaster, are you watching? You just like, looking both ways, right? Turning your head here and there, right?
Yeah, I'm looking everywhere.
Alright, so yeah, you'll like look back and forth, west and east, right? 50-50 chance you'll be looking the right direction at the right time. Let's see. As you scan left to right, looking for any signs of the enemy, Sarah, you're packing snow on your wound. It seems to kind of be helping, maybe. I'll double check if that actually helps. Let's see, does snow help slow bleeding gut?
It is cold. And cold does restrict.
So it says that snow should never be used to treat a bleeding gut. Applying snow or any cold material to the outside of the abdomen is an unproven home remedy. Consuming snow can introduce contaminants and irritate the gut. Okay. Infection risk, ineffective, irritation risk, and gut bleeding is an internal issue, and it could possibly slow the outside bleeding maybe a little bit, but for the most part, it looks like there's mostly. Wait, does snow help a open gut wound? Open gut wound. Alright. For the most part, it has more risks than pros, or more flaws than, yeah, cons and pros. So, reduced blood flow, increased infection risk, delayed healing, tissue damage. So, dang. Alright, yeah, that definitely is not helping you, I guess. It was maybe a smart idea. Extreme cold, such as a form of snow and ice, can be harmful to open wounds because it restricts blood vessels, which significantly slows the healing process and increases the risk of infection. Alright. Fortunately, that actually is bad. Alright.
Let's slow the bleeding though.
It might slow the bleeding, but it will slow the healing.
If I have clothes, because I looked it up as well. If I have clothes on, as long as I'm applying it outside, it would help slow the bleeding down. As long as I'm not applying it to the major wound.
Yeah, I could see it slowing the bleeding down, but it will stop the healing process. It will slow the healing process, so it won't cauterize. It will slow the bleeding, blood flow, right? The blood will slow down, but now you're introducing all kinds of other issues, right? Like you'll become cold. There could be possible infection, right? As the snow melts and pours into your gut, right? Things like that. So for the most part, it's helping, kind of, right? It's like,
I mean, I'm able to walk, right? Because I mean, I got hit in the gut. I didn't get hit in the leg, so I'm able to walk, right?
yeah, you can walk at 50% speed. You're wounded. You're like sluggish, right? You can crawl around.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, like, okay, I would just like rub a little bit of snow on the armor. I'm not gonna keep it on too long, but I am gonna start making my way back to the elves.
Okay, so you're crawling through the woods, and you're packing snow onto the wound just to keep the blood from pouring out, and to slow the bleeding. So long term it's bad, but short term it's good, I would say, right? Because it slows the bleeding, which stops you from dying and losing more blood. But long term, there's a risk of infection, hyperthermia, and etc. Right? Tissue damage.
Yeah. So I'm gonna walk back at half speed to the elves.
Okay. So, yep, you're just kind of trudging through the snow, trying to slow the bleeding down with snow. And as you do that, of course, you're making your retreat, trying to live to fight another day, live to tell the tale. Margaret, are you back? So the situation has gotten kind of strange here. We're not really in combat anymore. The enemy have disengaged, and we have disengaged to some extent. FALRANTH is out there trying to watch KRACETH's back, so he can fire at any enemy that might fire at KRACETH during his casting. Do you want to stay out here and watch for enemies still, or do you want to go back with Sarah? What do you think about the situation? The goal was originally... So, overall, your goal is survival in the end, right? Food, water, housing. But the mission's goal was to hunt down goblins. Given that we don't have the capabilities, or you have the capabilities to hunt some more goblins if you stay back, but we're also risking Sarah's life here if we don't retreat. So what do you think, Margaret? You want to help Sarah get out of here? Do you want to watch for goblins, as was originally planned, right? Hunt the goblins. There are no goblins in sight.
Oh, because they left and rejoined. Oh, they typed in chat saying hello.
Margaret,
Can you hear us? Yeah, you're not audible.
Yeah, we can't hear you if you're speaking.
Okay, Margaret said that they're gonna grab me so that I can retreat faster.
Okay, just try to fix your mic if you can. But yeah, Margaret, she will go after Sarah then and try to get Sarah out of there. Oh, I think it's working now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
There we go.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I want to grab Sarah for us to get sister in the elves.
Okay. Yeah, get her back to safety. Yep.
Yeah.
So Margaret's gonna help carry Sarah out of here. FALRANTH, you're watching for enemies. And KRACETH, you got your spell ready to launch.
I'm gonna yell something.
Okay.
To pronounced in the Elvish tongue lethal, which means basically give them a volley or release the arrows. And I'm going to guess that the goblins know what that means. I
Right.
want to see a reaction to that.
They react to that. So you shout an order in Elf or in Elvish.
Yeah,
Let's see if
lethal.
they react to this, how they feel about that. You get little to no reaction. They're indifferent to it. So you shout the order and you receive no responses or no reactions from it. The
Okay.
ones to the southwest don't seem to pop out of cover. The ones beneath you don't seem to make any additional noises. And the ones to the east, we don't know where they're at anymore. We heard them for a moment last round, but now they're no longer audible or visible, right, at the moment.
Since we're out of combat, can I break my spell and start retreating?
Sure. KRACETH stops. He begins his retreat. FALRANTH, you want to start retreating too at this point?
Yeah, I'll retreat backwards, but I'll have the bow knocked with an arrow, and cover my spellcaster while I follow him retreating.
All right, so
make sure they don't get a shot off at us.
Yeah, let's see if they're brave enough to peek and fire at you guys on your way out. So it's gonna be based on a morale check. If they hear you guys or hear KRACETH running off through the snow, there's a chance they might be brave enough to peek and fire. If they pass the morale check, they're brave enough. If they fail, they'll stay behind and continue defending their trench. They fail. So at no point did KRACETH or FALRANTH see them or hear them pop out of their trench again on their way out. So you guys get to fully retreat without any other issues. No one knows what happened to the eastern group. Maybe they went off to get reinforced. Maybe they went off to cut you guys off. But fortunately, they were never encountered again. The south group remained in their hidey hole. The southwest group remained in their trench. But your group was able to withdraw and survive this encounter with the goblins. Unfortunately, it was... I mean, it was somewhat successful, right?
We killed one goblin.
Killed one and one
casualty.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a full casualty. She didn't die, so...
Not full.
A slight casualty. Alright. Yeah, you will get Sarah back to the elves, and you'll ask if they can do anything about her wound. Let me see if they can. They'll make a reaction check. So naturally, when you come back, they see the injury. You brought back no proof of any kills, by the way. So they don't know if you actually killed anything out there. But you brought a wounded Sarah back. Let's see if they will help you. The elves are helpful, fortunately, for your group, and they'll take care of her wound as best as they can in return for your help, right? So they can't pay you anything, but at the very least they'll take care of her wound, right?
But the thing explains that we did kill one, but we have no proof, so it doesn't matter much. But there's a lot of goblins. We need to grab more men if we're going to do this, but we will certainly help you to our best ability when we get more men.
All right. So
I think we should for our next time we should think about fire.
Using fire.
Burn them out. Yeah, let's burn these little suckers out.
And the elves do have a lot of wood that's useful for that, so we could actually start a fucking fire, throw it in the little hole, and
smoke them out. Yeah. Flame.
Yeah. Can we, DM? Can we stay with the elves?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can ask them first. I can't confirm that actually. I have to roll the dice. So you will ask to see if you can stay at their outpost. So they have agreed to help your friend take care of her wounds. As for your second request, you would like to stay here at their outpost. Unfortunately, they have that is not allowed. I don't think. Even the fact that you're an elf and you're polite, it's still not enough to convince them. Unfortunately, due to the rules, they can't allow you to stay here, and they would rather have you head back to your base. Not because they don't want to, but because it is the rules. They can't house your group. This is an outpost, and Their job is
I
to.
understand.
Yeah.
Perfect sense.
Okay. Now it might be a different situation, maybe to the west, but where the village is, the village might take you in. But this is a military outpost, and they're not allowed to keep you here overnight. You're welcome to stay in the surrounding lands, and they can watch over you if you want. But the main thing is survival. Now is at a your own survival is at risk. Your characters have no means to feed themselves at the moment, because today was spent hunting goblins, which was failed. We could try to hunt game, but game is scarce during the winter months. So foraging is impossible because there's little to nothing to forage, since there's no fruits and berries growing in the winter. Little to no fruits and berries growing during the winter months. So yeah, survival is very limited. Today, you guys will begin your first day of starvation, right? Unless the elves can feed you, which they will feed you if you have money to trade in return, because food is not free.
Yeah.
So they have to feed themselves too. In return, you could trade some of your gear off for food, unless some of you have money to trade.
Yeah. I give off my helmet. I'm willing to give that.
Alright, part ways with your helmet. The helmet, they can, it's good iron. Your helmet's good iron. So that will afford you, they'll say, 3 sets of food. They'll give you 9 pounds for it. 9 pounds of food for it. So that should be enough to feed 3 of you today. So 3 of you will be fully fed. Naturally, if your characters don't eat enough, what happens is, of course, starvation begins, and every day without food, you lose a hit point until you're just incapacitated, of course. But 7 days without food is automatic, like injury or death, right? And then, of course, so hit points is like will to fight. So every day you will lose 1 point of will to fight until you're at 0. Then you just have no means to, or no will to fight. You're just crumbled on the ground.
Hey, Dungeon Master.
Yeah. What's up?
Could I trade 10 of my arrows for food?
The arrows are not worth much, unfortunately. Maybe a single pound of food for the 10 arrows if you have 10 arrows to trade, which will only feed you for a third of the day. You need 3 pounds of food per day to sustain yourself. More will help you grow, and less will help you lose weight and also grow weaker, right? So if you eat less than 3 pounds of food, you grow smaller and weaker. So you lose strength and constitution in the long run, right? Or any physical abilities.
Could I trade 10 arrows?
Yep. So 10 arrows will get you 1 pound of food. So you will at least be fed the minimum. The minimum is 1 pound of food a day, I would say, right? To at least not starve, not hit point loss. 3 pounds of food is preferred. With 1 pound of food, you're still fed, but then you go hungry again pretty quickly. And
that's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. You can ration your food. Yeah, you'll just grow hungry faster, and then you'll just reset it every time you, or as soon as you can. But every full day without any food at all, of course, could cause you to lose a hit point or lose some kind of ability, right? So
how many pounds was I able to get from my helmet?
9 pounds. So technically, you could ration it. If you ration it, you could just eat 1 pound of food per day, ration it off, and then your character will just.
Yeah. I will lend one to Lowe's character. Well, KRACETH.
Yeah. So.
If able to teach
the
me
bare minimum
spells.
1 pound a day.
Payment.
Of course, 3 pounds is if you want to heal, right, and grow still. 3 pounds a day, if you want to be able to heal, because it's fully fed. 2 pounds is like, if you eat 2 pounds a day, it's 2,000 calories. I would say like you're not healing, but you feel fed. 1 pound a day is you're not healing and you don't feel fed, right? Um, you just get a you get to live still. So you get to reset the 7 day clock of death, right? Of starvation. That resets, but then you might still lose hit points, or not. You don't lose hit points. I would say if you eat 1 pound a day, over time, your character will definitely grow weaker. So, yeah, I guess it will affect hit points. So, if you don't eat 1 pound of food a day, you will lose hit points, but you will reset the 7 day clock of death, of starvation, right? 7 days without food. And then if 7 days without food, you're either injured or dead, right? So, Margaret,
I'm
today.
gonna trade Michael as well, DM. I need my full rations so that I can heal.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So for the most part,
What?
everyone wants to eat a full day's food, I think, and everyone should be able to afford it if they sell enough gear. So, Cyril, we'll start with you. You sold off your helmet for food.
Yep.
So today you will be left with and this is rations, by the way. They're giving you rations so this stuff doesn't spoil. All right, you got 6 rations left after today, and that's just carried by hand or just because you have no means to carry it, so you just carry your rations by hand.
Yeah.
Wherever you go. FALRANTH, of course, to feed yourself today. You sold off 10 arrows, and that gave you 1 pound of food. You need 2 more pounds of food to feel normal. Otherwise, you might depreciate in health. So you did eat at least once today, but there were the other 2 meals that you missed. Alright, so yeah, FALRANTH. I mean, you do have a copper piece. If you want to trade that for food, you could.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That will solve your problems. That means you ate a full meal today. So food-wise, rations, you're at. So you were at 10 minus 3, so you're at 7. All right. So FALRANTH was fed properly. I'll have to go over the rules on food more because I'm not too understanding of it. I just know that you need 3 pounds of food a day, or a day's worth of food, which is 3 pounds. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I don't know any long-term effects of eating less for the rules. We'll see. Except you might lose weight, maybe, and will to fight.
If you, as far as I know, if you're able to at least eat 2 meals a day, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's like skipping those meals are not very important.
Yeah. So the idea is adventurers are working throughout the day and they need to eat 3 pounds of food. So I suppose I'll have to look it up, but for now, for surely we should just stick to the basics: a day of food each. So a day of food is 3 pounds. If you don't get a day of food, then you're technically starving. You're going hungry. All right, Margaret, you paid by selling your helmet, right? Let's see.
No, Margaret's not here. Margaret left.
It's fine. They didn't leave for good though. They just left for this game. So we'll go with that they sold off their shield then to feed themselves. Shield traded, which leaves them with 6 rations left. Alright. And FALRANTH, we already accounted for him feeding himself. Sarah, we already accounted for you. And
Yep.
KRACETH, the last one we need to account for. You sold the helmet, right?
That's what I'm at. Yep.
Okay. And you have 6 rations left then. Alright. So you guys are good for the day. You've paid for your living expenses. The cost of living, the bare minimum is water, which you have free access to, food, and shelter. For shelter, you need bare minimum is a warm fire to stay warm and go to sleep. The elves don't allow you to stay at their place. You are allowed to stay in the surrounding lands if you'd like, they say. But you also can head back to WOLFDEN if you want.
Yeah, let's head back there. It's gonna be warmer inside the cave, probably.
Definitely.
That's where all the venture.
Yeah.
Reside.
If you stay on the cold, no shelter in the wintertime, you can get sickness. Any exposure to sickness is a risk of a lethal disease, or a somewhat lethal disease.
Winter is not going to be fun for this game, I guarantee you.
Winter's, never fun. It's always dangerous.
Yeah.
Alright.
Kind of tempted to kind of just take a break for winter, but for the winter to pass.
Yeah.
Because, for what I can tell, winter is not going to be very fun to play in.
But we only can progress to the winter if someone plays. That's the only issue. So you won't be able to play for a while until someone pushes through the winter months for us.
Yeah. Gonna be hard. I want to lose so many characters just due to starvation.
So our group moves east to WOLFDEN. During that movement we made, we had to check for any encounters. Safe travels through the Elflands. There were some animals spotted if we're interested. Small animals.
Definitely.
Interested?
Take our
We'll say that we came across a rabbit. So you guys, if you have a missile weapon, you can choose to hunt.
Can I sleep them?
Sure.
I have one more sleep.
So you auto hunted them, at least the ones you saw. You put them to sleep. They have a chance to survive it. I'm gonna roll to see how many you encountered. Alright, so we're gonna count them as rabbits, small animals.
There's always tons of rabbits.
It's winter time. It's a group of rabbits you spot. Rabbits might be more solitary during the winter months if they're out in the open. Might be in the expert rules. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up the expert rules. I have a physical copy, so I'm just gonna look through the physical copy.
I can give you a link to the expert.
We have the link.
Yeah, I'm already looking through it. It's easier for me to go through my physical copy.
Okay.
Alright, so anyway, never appearing, but yeah, appreciate the offer. We're gonna go with the idea that it might be a small herd animal. And there could be up to 3 to 30 of them, we'll say. So, well, actually, I'm gonna rule that only 10% of them exist. This is just a small encounter. You're not encountering the lair or anything.
Yeah.
So about maybe 1 to 3 are appearing. So on here we're gonna divide it by 10 basically. I think, yeah. So I'll say about 2 of them appear. So 2 rabbits out in the open, and you guys take aim with the sleep spell and launch a sleep at it, and they'll make a saving throw versus sleep.
Yep.
And they both failed, and you caught 2 rabbits. You want to keep them alive, or you want to kill them? You could breed rabbits.
Are they by? Yeah, I was gonna say, are they by chance male and female?
Let me check. So,
Because let me tell you, we can breed rabbits and they don't stop breeding. That's the thing.
baby rabbits wouldn't be out in the open. It's gotta be adult rabbits only. The babies would be sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll roll for their age first. I'll say odds is adult, evens is elder. So they're both old rabbits. So they're elder rabbits. Alright, so they're old looking rabbits. As for their sex, odds is male, evens is female. Alright, 1 of each. So 1 male, 1 female. They're old rabbits out in the winter. Tell that they're older rabbits. They're bigger, right? Larger. rabbits. So you caught 2 old rabbits, 1 male, 1 female. They're not in their prime breeding
Bring
life.
back
But
to the cave
yeah, you could
and
definitely try
breed
breeding
them. Then we can have tons of food.
Start a farm, rabbit farm. Rabbits are pretty good to farm, I'm pretty sure, in real life. So
Yeah, they don't stop breeding. Like literally, they just don't stop.
alright, yeah, you'll carry them back to the base. Maybe they have a lair not too far from here if you follow their tracks, but for now you'll just carry them back to base and you have a potential food source in the future if you don't kill them early on. Cause their deaths early on. Now the thing is you gotta have to find a food source for them, right? So to sustain them. So rabbits could eat lots of different things, right? Grain, berries, nuts, fruits. So you'll have to figure that out at some point. But you bring them back alive. You'll have to create some kind of enclosure, like in the base. Dig up a hole and throw them in there.
I do not. From what I'm looking up, I do not trust this as AI overview. It says in the winter, wild rabbits primarily eat bark, twigs, evergreen needles. I don't trust that though.
I think that's true. They do eat that stuff. Even deer eat bark, twigs.
Shit. Well, we have a lot of that.
Yeah, like especially when they have nothing else to eat, they'll eat that shit. You know, just yeah, that's all they can eat. So yeah,
Dude,
I guess you'll.
I think this is probably the best successful catch ever. The 2 rabbits, just because of the food source.
You're right. Yeah, potential rabbit farm.
You know.
And if we're able to get more the money for them, we can make give them better food, which might.
Alright, so I just rolled the next encounters on the way back. This was for small animal, and for I did a small animal encounter, which is yes. There was another small animal encounter on the way back to WOLFDEN. I accidentally rolled 2 ones, so we'll say the other one is going to go toward the large animal encounter. Alright, that's not one. And monster encounter, nope. So there's more small animals encountered on the way to WOLFDEN. So in the Elflands, you hunted rabbits in their own lands, and then in our land, this time you came across, we'll say a fox. Remember appearing? This is a rare encounter. I'll say we'll base it off of like a lion or something, mountain lion. Let's see. Where's mountain lion? I think it's 1 to 4 appearing. So we'll do 1 to 4 appearing foxes. You saw 1 fox on the way back to base. Small game animal. Do you guys want to hunt it? Foxes have good fur and decent
Someone
meat.
shoot it.
You can try to shoot it.
Who wants to try it? You can all take aim and fire at the same time too. Volley fire it.
Alright.
Want to volley fire? The fox?
I'm gonna fire.
Alright, roll to hit if you're gonna fire. FALRANTH, right? I think it's just you.
Yeah.
I think Sarah fell asleep. Alright, it's all good. It's my bedtime too, actually.
I think I got let's see, FALRANTH has a strength of 13 and +1, so that is a 9.
Well, strength doesn't affect missiles. You're firing a missile weapon.
Oh, dexterity. I'm sorry. Dexterity.
Okay, it's still a 9. Yeah. It's a small target, and you encountered it. Was our party surprised? No. Was it surprised? No. It was in the forest, in the snow, at a difficult distance, we'll say. I mean, you tracked it down as close as you could get. Now, the first indication of a rabbit, or not rabbit, a fox being out here is tracks. So the tracks are 130 yards out from the actual animal. You tracked it down. In your second approach, when you followed the tracks, let me see if he startled the wolf. Surprise. The wolf is surprised, or not the wolf, the fox. The fox is surprised. So fortunately, we were able to close and get 1d4 times 10 yards. So at 90 feet is the closest you got. That's when it becomes visual. So at first you saw the tracks, and then the actual fox was 90 feet during the shot. So at 90 feet, you saw the fox. Any closer might startle it. You fired on its position. We'll say that you shot at its back. That way you can get +4 to hit. We'll say that you shot at its back. Normal range. I'm gonna say stationary fox munching on some meat. Possibly. It was surprised after all. You lined the hit, yeah. Unless you rolled a nat 1, you probably wouldn't have hit. But with a 9 +4 is a 13. Right, you shot the wolf from behind, or the fox from behind, unaware. Right, it was susceptible to you, and you landed the hit and killed it. Right, or most likely killed it. The damage is gonna be. Let's see, what kind of bow you got? A short bow. Yeah, double damage because it's small, so 2d6 damage.
And the arrow's bladed.
Alright, yeah, it's a baby. It's a very young fox. Alright. So yeah, you killed it for sure. Yeah, it was a young fox. Looks like a young adult fox. It only had 1 hit point.
Yeah.
Maybe it was on the brink of starvation as well. Actually, he was really skinny. You shot him. That's why he had 1 hit point.
Oh.
So you shot a fox. You killed it. You got fur. Let me see how much meat it's got. I'm gonna say that it was a starving fox, hence the hit points. So, fox. How much meat does a fox have? How much meat on a fox? There's
Not
about.
much, but
Oh, it doesn't say. Okay, how much meat does a fox provide? Alright, it says about 6 to 10 pounds of weight in general, so 5-ish. So half of its weight would be meat, and therefore, being that it's starving, it's about 3 pounds of meat total that you're able to salvage off of it. So it's not much meat at all, but it's still meat. So that's about 3
I'm
pounds
more
of meat.
interested in how many copper I can get for the pelt.
Alright, yeah, the merchant would buy the fox pelt.
Okay.
You'll have to barter, but you know, it's a small pelt. It's rare. We'll say the merchant offers you back at your base. Also, we gotta make sure your base is still there. I forgot to roll encounter for the base. So while you were away, there was a chance for an encounter at the base. So we'll see if there was an encounter at the base upon arrival. Okay, there was an encounter. Actually, the base was able to hold itself together, but it's at reduced levels, right? At default, it underwent another assault, barely survived and lasted. And this time we'll say that during the assault, while you guys were away, another force of enemies approached the base, stronger than before to some extent because naturally they grew in numbers, and weapon-wise they gained some technological advantages from looting adventurers, right? So they were better equipped, better armored. At least some of them were, as they spread out their armor and weapons among themselves. So some of them were wearing helmets now. Some of them are wielding weapons, like iron weapons now.
well, they've been knocking out people. They've been knocking out people all the time.
Yeah, they looted
those
them.
helmets probably are.
Yeah, they're probably damaged in not the best shape, but they're here, or they did come to our camp while we were away, and their goal was to, of course, drive off us the land, or at least get some food. And the guards that we had, the morale is low. So as soon as the enemy arrived at the base or approached the base camp, uh, they called in for a withdrawal from the base. They had the settlers begin a retreat. Upon arrival, you found the base abandoned. All NPC adventurers abandoned the base along with anyone who could flee with them. So before the enemies could attack, they had evacuated the entire base. Those who could move evacuated. Those who couldn't were left behind to the cannibals. And the cannibals did not leave anyone behind. They carried off those wounded more than likely. A few people stayed back to report what happened to you, right? Or to the base. I would say those who were loyal stayed at the base and like remained hidden after the assault. So the cannibals did come through. They did steal some people, and they left with the people, right? They didn't take your base though. They just looted the base, ransacked it, and left, right? So they stole. Let's see. They stole one elder, one adult male, no, two elders. Let's see. They stole all these wounded people basically. So all these wounded people were stolen by the cannibals, right? They stole one child. Actually, the child could be carried. We carried the child out of there. Children were saved, but those adults were left behind. So, yeah, everyone else evacuated safely. Even the merchant left, right? The traders. So the base is no longer secure. The land is, it's no man's land at the moment, basically. No settlers, no merchants. The only ones who stayed behind, I'm going to say, are the adventurers whose players are still here. So Ethan, all your guys stayed back while everyone else had to retreat. So Laftreb, Ganam, and Ethbor remained at base. They didn't fight or anything. They just stayed in the area so that when you guys got back, they could let you know what happened. So.
Yeah. What do we do now?
So base has been abandoned by a majority of characters, and they fell back to the other base. Which is not faring too much better, but it's definitely a bit safer since it's got the water to its side. However, it's got to deal with pirates, so.
The pirate problem now stuff. Once the cold gets really bad, I don't think it's going to be a lot of fighting. There's going to be fighting, of course, but it's going to be more.
Yeah, in the winter months, raiders don't really attack. They usually go back home and sleep. So.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to
the biggest issue. I will say the biggest issue I will find in this campaign it won't be fighting for gold and glory. It's going to be fighting for survival.
Yeah, gold and glory will help you survive longer if you have a place to trade it and use it. So glory, of course, fame and power gives you the strength to actually go out there and take what you want. Whereas gold and all that gives you the money so you can purchase what you need to get it, right? So.
The issue is when the winter, it's going to be hard because everyone's going to try to stay warm, keep fed.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So everyone's going to be in their layers. Everyone.
Base is still yours, but it was ransacked, right? The enemy came through. In the middle of the day, they attacked the base. They looted it of anything valuable. They ransacked it. They set a flame to any of the flammable things, like all these makeshift shelters were destroyed, ransacked. So I'll just remove them. So they're just in ruin now. So I'll just, let's see. I guess I'll just mark damaged or ruined, because it can be repaired. It's not completely destroyed. So ruined. Shelters. Or just ruined.
I wonder how long it's going to take for the cannibals to cannibalize themselves.
With before us, they were just eating each other, eating other tribes, or eating animals, right? But that was their way of survival. Now they have us to eat. So, plenty of stock. They can breed humans too to eat, right? So. Breed each other and eat each other.
That takes forever, though.
Yeah, it does. So when you wait 9 months, you have a 10-pound meal or whatever. Let's see, 5-pound baby to eat. All right. Um, let's see. So, yeah, camp it doesn't look too good anymore. Things are in ruin. The dugouts are fine. Nothing else could be done with them in the short time. The shelters above though were ruined. They had tarps on them. They're easy to repair though. They're not very expensive to repair, but they are in ruin. The internals of the base though is more important, and that was ruined. They went into the base and they killed the pups, and or they took the pups, maybe killed them, maybe not. But the pups were removed. The cannibal meat was removed. The wolf, yeah, the entire stock inside the wolf put den was taken away. So it's just, yeah, there's nothing in there anymore. There was not much in the base to begin with. The storage hut was set ablaze, so all the wood stores are gonna be gone, right? So there's
we're
no
gonna have to just
reserve
retreat
wood.
then. Back.
Yeah, you're gonna probably have to fall back. You could try to repair WOLFDEN camp and try to retake it. I mean, it's still yours actually. Technically, they didn't claim it. So, yeah, just gotta.
Yeah,
repair.
but not much. Well, we have no wood. We have no settlers. It's kind of
The shoreline isn't doing much better. I mean,
Deleted.
you haven't heard much from the shoreline, but they've been having issues mainly with pirates. Spiders don't really affect them during the wintertime. Turkeys, of course, are peaceful, and elves don't affect them. And you guys are their kind of, you're their buffer zone, right, between them and other foreign adversaries, right? So once you drop this, then they'll maybe get affected by cannibals, right? But for now, you're kind of like their buffer zone. So if you hold this, then they can live in peace, right? So because you are suffering here, they are able to, somewhat live normally. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to hold the position or do you want to give it up? This is your base, right? Yours
What
and
do you-
yours.
Yeah. What do you think? Hello.
The few men you've got left.
Well, probably my opinion the most important because this is technically my family's.
The first home they ever had in
Well,
one.
perhaps we can seek shelter of the elves. We have a wounded Sarah too.
Yeah, her wound was tended to, but it needs time to heal. So
Yeah. Let's send her back at least to the shoreline camp.
Okay. Then we should go then to shoreline.
Yeah. Take my family, and go out to shoreline.
and the
It
session
might be
there.
time to abandon this area fully.
Give up this
Find
coast.
somewhere warmer.
Yeah. I mean, it's winter time. It's gonna be cold almost everywhere unless you travel far south to the deserts or whatever, to far southern lands.
I'm gonna start painting my face in green camouflage with mud and stuff.
Nice.
And I'm gonna start doing recon missions for the elves. I'm gonna become like commando for them.
A ranger.
Yeah. I'm gonna slit goblins' throats.
That'll
Kill
be
them
really cool.
for the elves. That's what I want to do. That's eventually what I want FALRANTH to be. Is to work for the elves to hunt down goblins.
That sounds awesome. Yeah, hopefully we can see that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing, guys. It was fun. Hope you guys had a good time. But thanks for
Yeah,
playing. We're gonna end
I'm
it here
just
then.
I had a good time. I'm just worried for the future. I know
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a lot of fun in the future though. Like that's my main concern.
So it will be a
It's like-
challenge.
It will be a challenge, and I love challenges, but I think this challenge might be a little too much for me.
The way back to town was a safe travel. There were no monsters encountered. I rolled all the monster encounters at once, and any animal encounters could be avoided easily. So you would get back to base.
Yeah.
You would have your rabbits still. Two of you would be carrying around rabbits, I guess, all the way back
Yeah.
to shoreline.
Let's breed them. We need food.
Yeah, I mean, at that point in shoreline, you could start your own rabbit farm, or you could just sell them off at that point, because there's this secure trade. Shoreline has, of course, the trade base. It's got access to the sea, so merchants across the sea can visit this small settlement.
Oh yeah. How much do I get for that pelt? Copper
sure.
piece or two?
Yeah, so you went to a fur trader. That's the best deal you might get if you sell it to a fur trader.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, their starting offer is average, it looks like. They're gonna offer you now it's a small pelt, but it's considered to be rare. It's a fox pelt, so he starts the offer out at 3 coppers for the pelt. Do you agree, or you wanna raise it, or
Yeah, I'll take it.
take 3?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll pay for 3 meals or 3 days worth of food basically for 1 little pelt. So.
Pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Do you guys want to sell your rabbits, or do you want to keep them? If you keep them, you gotta find a place to put them, right? So you might just sell them.
Yeah.
My original plan was to keep them in the cave, where we can easily
Yeah.
keep them. But
Yeah, but you don't have.
I'll leave that up to you, Ethan. I'll leave that up to you.
how much can we sell them for?
A buyer. Let's say you go to a farmer here at the shoreline base, or a settler who's taking care of animals out here, like turkeys and such.
Yeah.
So, an animal keeper of some kind, and he currently, of course, is taking care of domesticated turkeys to some extent. So offering rabbits isn't off the chart for him. He's willing to buy them alive,
Yeah.
and we'll say he's offering you the rabbits. They're small game, so they're adults. He'll offer you 2 coppers for each of them. Do you agree, or you want to raise it? Or actually, let me roll for it.
Yeah.
All right, actually, a good favor or a good price. So, given that rabbits are considered livestock and they have, let me see how much meat they yield real quick. How
You're
much
actually pretty good now.
rabbit meat per rabbit? All right, it's 2 to 4 pounds of meat per rabbit, so we'll say 3 on average. So these are adult ones, of course, larger bred or larger. Yeah, 3 pounds each. So technically, their meat alone, if you were to buy it, it'd be 1 pound or 1 copper. If you were to sell it, you would have to sell 6 pounds of meat for 1 copper, right? 6 pounds, 1 copper if you sold it. Now, they're alive though, so that increases their value. They've also got fur. So yeah, I would say 2 to 3 copper is pretty average for their cost. Now, given that I rolled a 10, he'll offer you a better offer. He starts it out at 3 coppers, right? But he might be willing to go higher if you want higher. So he's saying 3 coppers for each, right?
So, what I will say, rabbits breed a lot. And that's be very valuable. That can feed a lot of people. They non-stop breed. So, I personally think maybe I'm only asking 1 copper more, just for not each, just 1 more copper.
Okay, just 1 more copper. So you want 7 for 2? Okay. He agrees. He accepts your offer. Says very well. 7 it is. Alright, successful barter. Alright, KRACETH, you got 7 coppers for that. Rabbits were sold. There was a half experience point earned, so who wants to take it? I'll give you guys 0.5. So who wants a 0.5 for that single goblin you guys killed out there? Who had that killed? That was FALRANTH. Should he take it?
That was me.
Okay. Is that fine for you guys? He gets
I obliterated it.
blasted into the dirt. All right.
Right?
So you got the XP for that. You need 39.5 more to go. Let's see.
Alright.
Yeah, 0.5 out of 40. I love that. This is so funny to look at. Like,
All right.
you need to kill 80 goblins to get to level 2. That's a lot of goblins.
Yeah, they're pretty weak.
Yep.
It's their numbers that make them
Well,
difficult in their gear.
Yeah, but they're kind of impossible to hit right now.
They're so small.
You made them really hard.
Hard to hit, easy to kill.
If there's-
Right, that's a trade-off.
Yeah. understand that, but like just like what they have a negative armor class just from having
Body armor.
from being small.
Yeah, for being
Yeah, body armor.
a small target. The body armor helps if they actually do get hit, but then their small size makes them hard to actually hit. So it's a small target, right? So from a distance, it's even more difficult to shoot.
I actually believe that it's actually impossible to hit, even if you have high bonuses to hit. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much impossible for a normal character to can hit.
Yep, small, dashing. The only times you're gonna easily hit them is if, of course, you're up close and doing grapples, right, or sweeping maneuvers and or nets.
And are you calculating the armor class by their base armor class?
Yeah. So
Like,
your base armor class is
start
gonna be
at
7. Yeah.
But
That's gonna
is
count
that
for their mobility.
7 armor class usually come from the armor they wear?
Nope. It does to some extent, but I've decided to count it toward like that's their benefit. I do that for all monsters currently. So that's like their default like dexterity bonus, right? Like their size bonus, dexterity that's like their base dexterity bonus basically is where that 2 comes from. Instead of body armor.
Dexterous then.
So. Yeah, they're small. They're cunning little guys, right? Small, grotesque, evil, wicked men. They're pretty quick with their hands, especially bow and arrows, because you know that's their main thing. Goblins are supposed to be fast and cunning and good at shooting bow and arrows and such. All right.
Not bad.
Yeah. We got a few kills.
That was a fun game.
Yeah, that was fun. Thanks for playing, guys. Have a good night. I need to get to bed. You guys need to head out too.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks. Thanks for the game.
Thanks for playing.
6 in the morning
Bye,
for me.
guys.
Yeah. Take care.